The following is a special presentation of the World Baseball Classic. Welcome back to Seoul, South Korea for the final game of Pool A play in the 2017 World Baseball Classic. Gochuk Skydome has been an amazing host for this portion of the tournament. The crowd won't be holding anything back tonight as the host country, Korea, takes on Chinese Taipei. Here's a look at the Pool A standings heading into this game. Both Israel and the Kingdom of the Netherlands are headed to round 2 in Tokyo, but with a win this afternoon, Israel managed to stay unbeaten here in Seoul. And with that, we say hello again, everybody, and welcome inside the broadcast booth. Paul Severino, Major League veteran, Joe McGrain as well. It's been a fun few days for us here in Seoul. Unfortunately, our time here is limited to one final game. But Joe, the first time Korea hosted pool play, it was a success.
Absolutely, an outstanding job, a beautiful venue. It just didn't work out well for Korea, but you could easily see the WBC returning to Seoul.
Now, what's at stake in this game here, with both teams still looking for their first win, is win or else, in all likelihood, you're going to have to qualify for the next World Baseball Classic. All right, into the teams now. For Korea, they have had varying degrees of success in previous World Baseball Classics. They've lost in the semis, they've lost in the finals, but now back-to-back times, Joe, they've been out in the first round.
And it really has to be disappointing for them because they really had a body of work in the WBC, a body of work of success, but it also highlights the immediacy of this format. You have to be clicking on all cylinders. Dae-Ho Lee, their big bopper, wasn't swinging the bats very well. Korea was not stringing at-bats together. They had a chance taking Israel to extra innings. The go-ahead run in the 10th led to their demise, but they faced the Kingdom of the Netherlands, and right off the top, Jurickson Profar had them on the run. And of course, with the way that they can play defense, anytime Korea tried to get any type of offensive momentum going, it seemed like a double play, which was an absolute rally killer.
And then for Chinese Taipei, even though they come into this game still looking for their first win, they look like two different teams.
Two different teams. Manager Quote really tried to line up his pitching with his two best guys going in game one, and that didn't work. They got them behind early, and they were playing catch-up the rest of the way. Now, last night, they look like a completely different team. They were barreling the ball up with consistency, stringing at-bats together, but still, unfortunately for them, were not able to come away with a win. A great regional rivalry game tonight.
It's going to be fun to watch it all unfold. It's the final game from Seoul, Korea and Chinese Taipei. Lineups and first pitch next. Welcome back to Seoul. A beautiful look at the different sights from around this lovely city, the capital city of South Korea. Paul Severino and Joe McGrain with you. The last of our games here in Pool A play in the 2017 World Baseball Classic. Now inside Gochuk Skydome. A good look there at Kwan Yu Chen, who's going to get the ball tonight for Chinese Taipei. We'll meet him in just a moment. But first, the Korea batting order, as put together by their skipper, In-Shik Kim. As we take a look at this squad right here, a bit of a different look. They have had their opportunities. Just one run, 2 extra base hits, and 1 for 13 with runners in scoring position with 16 men left on base in 2 games. So they have got to get the bats going somehow, some way, figure something out here. Try to get a win on their home turf, quite literally. and get out of pool play with a victory. Kwan Yu Chen is a 26-year-old who's represented Taiwan at junior, college, and senior levels of international competition, and he gets the ball doing the same thing Korea's trying to do, and that is get a victory here in pool play.
Well, and so much of it starts with the success of having to be aggressive early in the count. He's a front of the rotation type pitcher, lefty with a typical idiosyncratic delivery. Kind of a pause at the top, very crafty. He must change speeds to be successful on both sides of the plate. Not going to wow you with velocity, but his ball moves well, and if he locates, he'll be on top of his game.
Let's take a look at the defense behind him for Chinese Taipei as they play in the final game of pool play here in Seoul. Behind Chen, left to right in the outfield, Chang, Lin, and Gao. Third to first on the infield is Zhang, Chen, Lin, and Lin, with Lin behind the plate as well. So that is the defense for Chinese Taipei up against the host country Korea. The atmosphere here tonight, even though the crowd knows that neither team is moving on, the atmosphere will be great, as it certainly has been absolutely for the Korea games. Chinese Taipei has traveled some fans as well, and they have fun no matter what. I said it a few times, up or down 10, it doesn't matter. They love their baseball.
Well, you're absolutely right. It really is this celebration of baseball. They come to the ballpark to really enjoy themselves. It is a party, all the different dances, the noisemakers, the chants, the songs, and it's really been fun from a cultural aspect to see this.
So Chen looks for the sign, and his first pitch to Byung-hin Min is a little upstairs for ball one. Min's a 29-year-old who set career highs in 2016 with 16 home runs and 87 RBIs. A high drive the other way, deep right field toward the corner, and it's a fair ball. Bounces up off the wall. Gao in towards second, and a leadoff stand-up double for Min. Korea in business early.
And, you know, before I could get it out, I was thinking it would be a really good idea for Korea to be very aggressive early in the count, to try to ambush Chen, and a middle away fastball, still able to hug it right inside the right field line, and a good start for Korea.
That's his fourth hit in 8 trips. But Korea has had their chances with runners in scoring position, as we noted when we showed you the lineup, so it's a matter of capitalizing on that. They've scored just the 1 run. That was an extra inning loss to Israel. Then a 5-0 defeat at the hands of Netherlands. Both of those two teams moving on to Tokyo as Young-Kyu Lee, the center fielder, takes ball 1.
I'm going to say, watch the drag bunt. You have the left-hander Chen falling towards the third base side. Pull it down the first base side and try to beat the foot race at the base. It's a very tough bunt to defend, and it also would move the runner on second 90 feet closer to scoring.
Lin 1 for 6 with a couple of walks. Lee pops that one up, and it will fall foul. Lee, rather, is 1 for 6 with a couple of walks.
You know, I like the idea that he's bunting in this situation, but as far as the execution, and even in this pool, the bunting has not been, you know, fundamentally sound, but I think why not try it on the right side of the field towards the first baseman, and like I said, just try to win the foot race. He can run very well, and it would serve a dual purpose. One, he could get on base and also move the runner over to third.
That's the home plate umpire, DJ Rayburn, one of 3 major league umpires on the 6-man crew that made the trip to Seoul. Just base umpires, no umpires down the line, so it's a rotation. But DJ Rayburn and Ted Barrett, the 2 major league umpires on the crew in this one. Squares to bunt again, pulls back on the high pitch, and it's 2 balls and a strike.
He still has that bat oriented like he wants to make the third baseman field the ball, so it's almost like he's kind of sacrificing himself instead of being more base hit oriented. be a real good feeling for Korea to get on the scoreboard early, as they have had difficulty in this pool stringing at-bats together.
Well, the bunt is a part of his game. 30 sacrifice hits over the last 4 years for Young Kyu Lee. He's a 31-year-old making his 3rd appearance in the World Baseball Classic. He bats with a runner in scoring position and nobody out here in the 1st. The pitch. He stabs at that one, and it's strike 2.
Well, I've said it a lot, the lost art of bunting. And you get a look at the pitch. He's still trying to jab at it, and watch where the barrel of the bat goes. He has it level, and then he jabs it down. That is really just making an easy fundamental thing that much more difficult. And he's lucky he didn't make contact with that, because when the barrel goes down, the ball goes up, he would have popped it up.
Two balls and 2 strikes to the center fielder, Lee. Swing and a miss on the high fastball. May have tipped it into the glove of Lin, but there is 1 away.
Real unfortunate for Lee. Bad fundamentals on the bunting got him to 2 strikes, to where it's an unproductive out and ends in a strikeout. He had 2 real opportunities to get the ball down, and then he expands the strike zone up with that dramatic leg kick. Disappointing at bat and a wasted out.
Suk Min Park, the 3rd baseman, who was 1 for 4 here in the WBC. He digs in with a runner on and 1 out, and takes a look at strike 1. Park's a 31-year-old who hit a career-high 32 home runs in 2016. He also hit .307 with 104 RBIs in 126 games with the NC Dinos last season. Min with the leadoff double, away from second. And they'll keep him close.
You know, that's kind of the way it's been. We talked about it in the open, actually, for both of these teams, but get a hit. Next at bat, not so good. Hot and cold. And you've mentioned it, Paul, just the immediacy of the format. You know, sometimes it gets the feeling that the volume gets turned up, the speed of the game gets turned up, almost like you're starting the game in the 7th inning, because you've got such a short time to prove yourself. Korea could not get out of the gate, neither could Chinese Taipei. Let's see if Korea can do it in the 1st.
Serves 1 out to right field, and it falls fair. That will drive home a run. The throw to second is in time. But it's an RBI nonetheless, and a 1-0 lead for Korea.
Pretty good gamble to go for 2 with 1 out to try to get into scoring position, but the right fielder Gao, as another one just served right down the right field line. Already Korean hitters doing a good job going with Chen the other way, but he goes into the corner and digs it out, and I'm talking about a perfect strike right on the bag. Nice throw.
It's Wohei Gao out there in right field on the 9-6 putout, but again, Korea finally does come through with a runner in scoring position as Dae-Ho Lee. As soon as he steps to the dish, he's in scoring position. Big time power.
Let's take another look at that throw, and you see how he uses the wall to kind of springboard off of to orient his body right towards second base, and a perfect throw. Beautifully done.
Dae-Ho Lee swings and fouls that back. Now on that last look there, you saw a close play at second base. And I think it's worth noting that even though there is instant replay in the World Baseball Classic, it's not the full-on instant replay that people may be used to at the major league level. It expands as the tournament goes along. Lee did not check his swing, and he is retired on strikes. A 1-0 lead. A run of the first for Korea. Taipei coming to the bat rack. Welcome back to Seoul. Paul Severino, Joe McGrain, Go Chuck Skydome. If we've said it once, we've said it 1,000 times. The atmosphere has been electric throughout this portion of the World Baseball Classic. This is really what it's all about, the WBC. As we take a look at the Chinese Taipei starting lineup, their team captain, Chi Sheng-lin, plays second base and bats cleanup. He has already said that this is going to be it for him. 35-year-old who's going to retire from the national team after the WBC. So this will be the last time that he suits up for Chinese Taipei, and he hopes it is in victory. Squaring to bunt is the leadoff hitter Chin Lung Hu, and it's 0-1 from Hyunjong Jang, the 29-year-old who has played all 10 of his KBO seasons with the Kia Tigers.
Let's take a look at the scouting reports on Jang, a decorated all-star, and since 2014, no one has thrown more innings in the Korean Baseball League than Yang, with that power slider to go with it. He has a fastball in the low 90s, but the wipeout pitch is the slider. See .3 of our scouting report. He gets his pitches over the plate, which is why he's been able to rack up so many innings.
No balls, 2 strikes to Hu, and he takes outside 1-2. Who's a 33-year-old who signed with the Dodgers in 2003. Played in the 2006 World Baseball Classic and went 5 for 12 with a couple of doubles, 2 runs scored, and an RBI in 3 games.
And who's not on first? He's the DH in the game today.
That's right. He has been on first a few times, though, at 3 for 10 in this tournament, as that one falls foul down the right field line.
Taking a look there at Dae-Ho Lee, it has been, disappointing to see him with the expectations not only that they have for him in Korea, but just watching his at-bats, he has really been struggling, caught in between the fastball and the breaking ball, indecisive at the plate.
And that's the thing about Korea, is that we mentioned the great deal of success that they have had in the World Baseball Classic, 14-5 coming into this WBC, although they've dropped the first 2 games. Swing and a miss. Throw down to first base to complete the strikeout, 1 away. Let's take a look at the defense behind Yang for Korea. Let's go left to right in the outfield. Min, Lee, and Sun. Third to first on the infield. Park, Kim, Sao, Lee, with Uichi Yang behind home plate. And as I was saying, Joe, that's the thing about Korea, is that obviously as the host country, with the great deal of success they've had in the World Baseball Classic, there was every reason to believe that they would make noise here, defend their home turf, because they have a lot of power in their lineup. The only problem is a lot of that power hasn't really shown up, whether it's been the struggles in the WBC as In-shik Kim looks on. But even Youngwoo Choi had a tough time in the exhibitions, and he has had a tough time breaking into this lineup. So the guys that they have relied on have not been able to carry the club offensively, and now they know that for a second consecutive WBC, it's a first-round exit.
Well, this pool did not sneak up on him, and Kim had talked about his team not swinging the bats, and he had been, very concerned about it, very concerned about a couple of his good hitters that were not swinging the bat well. But when an entire lineup goes cold, you better be getting some outstanding pitching to try to protect that. But it's just one of those inopportune times that every club goes through when they're not pitching well and they're not hitting well. Bad combination.
One-two on the way. The breaking ball misses upstairs to the 29-year-old Chang, who hit .322 with 17 home runs and 70 RBIs in 70 games last season. set career highs in each of those 3 categories. It's a piece of that one to stay alive.
He looked pretty good at the plate last night, swinging the bat well.
5 for 10 here in Seoul. A double, a home run, 4 RBIs, and 4 runs scored. 2 losses, but a tale of 2 games for Chinese Taipei. 2-2. Pops this one straight up, back here right in front of us. And still 2-2. Well, what this game may lack in consequence for the World Baseball Classic this time around, it will certainly make up for in energy on both sides, as this is the beauty, as this one is ripped down the right field line, foul. As this is really the beauty of the World Baseball Classic, is the pride in country that is on display every night in these ballparks around the world. And as this is our last game here in Pool A play in Seoul, things are still yet to kick off in Pools C and D in Miami, in Jalisco, Mexico. Action underway in Tokyo. It's a 3-week global tournament. And you know, one thing, Joe, that's interesting, we got a chance to speak with managers and pitching coaches before the games got underway. And in all honesty, there's a bit of a language barrier between us, speaking English, with Korea and Chinese Taipei. As Chang strikes out for out number 2.
A bevy of breaking balls. And then he goes up and in with the fastball. Left-handed hitters become more high ball hitters against left-handed pitchers because they see that ball. It looks so big in that area, but they just can't get to it. It looks good to hit, but you can't get to it.
Taewon Kuo looking on as Chi Shen Jiang, the third baseman, will dig in. What I was going to say was there's the language barrier, right, between us and Korea and Chinese Taipei. Thankfully, we had some translators, but there was one part in the conversation where we didn't need one. We're talking about the ball and how the ball may be different in the different leagues in the WBC. And all of a sudden, it just turned into that universal language of baseball and just the motions of the ball coming out of someone's hand. And it was a really humbling couple of seconds right there where I just thought to myself, man, everybody speaks baseball.
Yeah, and that was really on the heels of, oh, beautiful pitch there.
Yang strikes out the side of the first. 1-0 after 1. Welcome back. Paul Severino, Joe McGrain with you. It's been fun spending the last few days inside Go-Chuck Sky Dome, a beautiful facility that opened in 2015. Holds about 18,000 people. It's the home ballpark of the Nexen Heroes in the KBO League. The first indoor baseball stadium built in Korea. Yes, you see that yellow line on one of the catwalks or support beams. This ballpark has a little bit of the Metrodome, the old Metrodome in Minneapolis. A little bit of the Tropicana Field down in St. Petersburg, home of the Tampa Bay Rays. A little bit of that feel, but really a nicely built ballpark with a terrific energy and atmosphere. As 5, 6, and 7 due up for Korea here in the second. The 0-1 to Asap San misses low and away. San followed by Yang and Choi, with Korea leading 1-0 here in the second.
Yeah, Paul, you wouldn't think that they would build a stadium that only holds 18,000 people, a domed stadium, but it's very well laid out. 2 decks in center field, has an intimate feel, and a lot of people here tonight, and it can get really loud.
2-1 on the way from Chen is tap foul, and I will say I am glad it's a dome, because the week that we have been
cold.
here, it has been chilly. My goodness. A lot colder than I would have thought. I think it even snowed yesterday too. Thought we were kind of past that, but guess
Oh,
not.
beauty.
Called strike 3. Third strikeout for Chen, and first out here in the second inning.
You want to talk about sticking it. That is dotting the I, crossing the T. Look at the target. Boom. And just presenting it perfectly. He thinks the pitch is down.
Well, that was one of those
nice, straight, true fastball.
And one of those situations where the ball is caught and where it crosses the hitting zone are two different things, as Yuiji Yang takes a called strike 1.
Really like the way Chen is attacking these hitters and the way he's throwing that fastball downhill right around the knees. It's crisp.
That one just outside.
Looked like he had one of those old Gaylord Perry puff balls. Look at that hand. It is loaded up with rosin, and almost in great kabuki style, that ball came out of his hand in a puff of smoke. This is what Gaylord Perry, when he wasn't throwing the spitball, used to throw. Watch it come out of his hand. A lot of rosin on his hand, and poof.
Former KBO Rookie of the Year swings over the top of that one. There will be competing chants from one side of the ballpark to the other, as Korea is well represented throughout the ballpark, but perhaps their loudest contingent is down the left field line for Chinese Taipei in the right field corner.
How about the Chinese Taipei fans? They came ready. All in Taipei home jerseys and hats with that, hey, put me in, coach, I'm ready to play.
We'll look into whether or not that's their entire designated pitchers pool or not, but terrific support, no question about it. They wait for the cues. That's great.
Very good choreography. And the Oscar for choreography goes to?
Just wide of the third base bag, still 3-2. Yuiji Yang, a 29-year-old who, as I mentioned, the KBO Rookie of the Year in 2010, was the 2016 Korean Series MVP with the go-ahead homer in the clinching game of the series. Also added an RBI single. It will be a payoff pitch from Chen to Yang with one out here in the second. Chop up the middle and through for a base hit. Third hit of the night for Korea, one aboard in inning number 2.
Yeah, that enthusiasm goes from the first inning all the way to the 9th, regardless of score. They come to play.
That's going to bring up the DH, Young Woo Choi, 33 years old, who was the KBO Rookie of the Year in 2008. He had signed the largest contract in KBO history this offseason, a 4-year deal worth the equivalent of $8.5 million with the Kia Tigers.
Those are gaudy numbers.
Yeah, but that deal has actually been eclipsed by that of Dae-Ho Lee, his $12.9 million deal. First 11 seasons with the Samsung Lions, and now a member of the Kia Tigers in the KBO. He was 0 for his first 17 in the exhibitions. He was slated to be right in the heart of the order, but really something of a red flag, the struggles. And In-Sik Kim had dropped him as the exhibition games rolled on. This is his his first start. And it comes in a game that really has no consequence on this particular WBC, but perhaps more so for the next tournament a few years from now, as in all likelihood the team that is winless here in Seoul will have to qualify for the next tournament. As this one is ripped toward the alley. It'll be cut off before it gets there by Lin, but heading all the way to third is Yang. Runners on the corners with one out for Korea.
Real good in at that adjustment by Yang. That fastball on the previous pitch was thrown by him. He was real tardy, and then he dialed up some timing. Choi did, rather. And that was as solid as you can hit it. It's Yang that's going first to third. It's Choi that's going to first.
Well, Korea is set up. They scored a run in the first inning. They have had their opportunities here in this World Baseball Classic. Take a look at the average leaders. 376 for Choi. Take Hyun Kim, who's getting the night off tonight, at 365. These guys can hit. It's just a matter of translating it from those numbers through the exhibitions, obviously in Choi's case, where he wasn't able to come through, and now into the tournament.
And as you can see with those numbers, a very hitter-friendly league. You know, I'm wondering if he's getting a little blister going on his index finger, because he was really loading up on the rosin. And we've talked about the baseball before, that a lot of these pitchers, it's basically a baseball to major league specifications, and they're used to a different type of ball, one that's not rubbed up with the mud. And I think that's what it was. He had some type of a blister with trying to really load up on the rosin and get a better grip. These pitchers have had difficulty making that transition and getting used to this baseball. The ball they use normally is not mud on it. It's more tacky. It's a little smaller, and it affects breaking pitches. And he was throwing the ball pretty well. It's a shame that would have to take him out of the game.
Well, he goes 30 pitches into this one, as Chinese Taipei's manager Taewon Kuo will have to go to the bullpen. Can't quite see the injury. We assume it's a blister. If we learn anything, we'll pass it along. For now, a pitching change in Seoul. We're back in a moment.
Well, Yang leaving the game for Chinese Taipei. He was throwing well. Fastball was coming out of his hand pretty well, and it appears, you know, we saw him and showed earlier how much rosin that he was using, and the Korean translator was coming out to speak to the umpire, I think, about him putting too much rosin on the ball. We already showed it how he was throwing puff balls, and I think he was doing it to get a better grip, because they are having to make this transition with the new ball, and you see that he's kind of fidgeting with his thumb and probably soaking that middle finger. That is the finger that you use to pull on the seam to get break and spin on your breaking pitches, and that's where most of the blisters are. And soaking it in some type of liquid. We used to soak it in pickle juice to try to toughen up that skin and take away the blister. I don't know what type of concoction they've got going there.
Well, the new pitcher is Chun Lin Kuo, a 25-year-old that's pitched for the Cebu Lions in Nippon Professional Baseball each of the last 2 years. He pitched well at the 2015 Premier 12 tournament. 2 runs allowed in 15 innings, 20 strikeouts against Italy and Puerto Rico. The run around third is Yuichi Yang, and Youngwoo Choi on at first. 2 on, 1 out for Ha-Sung Kim, the shortstop, as Kuo takes over here in the second. It was a 29 pitch outing for Chen, 2/3 of an inning, 6 hits, and to this point, no earned runs.
Just goes to show you how the pitching plans, as we said right off the top, have not worked out for Chinese Taipei. Speaking of Kuo, the manager of Chinese Taipei, tried in the first game to piece together his 2 best pitchers in game 1. They really couldn't get any length, or couldn't get deep into the game. You have Chen starting this game, who was, from a stuff perspective, was throwing the ball pretty well, but developed a blister. And Kuo is loading up on the rosin as well. So I think adjusting to the major league ball is still a challenge for these pitchers.
Two balls, no strikes to Kim, the shortstop. Takes a look at strike 1. Got my signals crossed there a moment ago. The line on Chen not yet complete, an inning and a third, 4 hits and 3 strikeouts, but the runner's obviously his responsibility. For Kuo, it was 2/3 of an inning, 6 hits, 4 earned runs in the loss against Israel, and he threw 29 pitches in that outing. So it's a situation where it's trying to piggyback the starting pitchers, as Joe mentioned. That one squirts away. Throw down to second, not made, and advancing to second is Choi.
Good instincts and reactions by Choi, reading the ball in the dirt, getting away from the catcher. And what allows you to do that is just like a shuffle, good secondary lead after the primary one, and then you make a split-second decision. Watch him get a good little shuffle secondary lead, and immediately, although he does not run well, runs to second, and the good jump allows him to get there easily.
And now the infield will play in with runners on second and third and 1 out, and a hitter's count to Ha-Sung Kim. Another big chance here for Korea. The 3-1 misses inside, and the bases will be loaded.
Kind of an unusual cultural difference there. You've got 2 different rosin bags. I think the one where that's tied off with the sanitary sock is more rosin, and that smaller one is more kind of like a powdery, drying of the perspiration type device.
Almost like a bowler's chalk type of thing.
Yeah, that's what it looks like. They have any more ingredients out there, they could probably make noodles.
Yang at third, Choi at second, Kim at first, and Gun Chang Sao, the second baseman, digs in. His numbers with the Nexen Heroes. The only guy who had driven in a run prior to tonight, a chance to really crack the scoreboard here in the second. Chop, fair ball down the right field line. 1 run will score. Here comes the second. They will hold the runner at third. A 2-run double for Sao, and it's 3-0 Korea.
First baseman, a little bit off the line, and is on the forehand side. I think you got to get dirty in that situation. That ball had some chop on it, but it was by him. The surface very fast.
They struggled with runners in scoring position coming into this game. 1 for 13 with 16 runners left on base. They have been able to capitalize in those situations here. And now the top of the order, Young Hyun Min, the left fielder. Infield in again for Chinese Taipei. The pitch, foul back. called strike to Min. So those early struggles in this pool play, again, mention the numbers, but now 2 for 3 with runners in scoring position. So too little too late in terms of the 2017 tournament, but again, what's at stake is the hope of not having to qualify in the next go around for the WBC. Kuo trying to keep it at a 3-0 deficit for Taipei. Again, infield in and 2 in scoring position. The 0-2. That game was held here at Go-Chuk Skydome. 3 for 3, a couple of home runs. Kuo and Kim look on. The 1-2. In the air toward right. We'll see if it's deep enough. Under it is Gao. Gathers himself. Throws. Not in time. 4-0 Korea on the sacrifice fly.
Well, this is the right fielder. We already saw him throw a runner out at second base. It's a pretty strong arm and an accurate one as well. Medium depth, gets rid of it, and it's right on the plate. The runner at second base didn't tag and go over to third.
Now the center fielder, Young-Kyu Lee, who struck out in his first trip, looks at a called strike 1. Well, a 4-0 lead now for Korea. This is really what they needed. Looking for more and hoping to get out of pool play, even though they will not advance to Tokyo with a victory on their home soil. The 0-1.
Well, you're right, Paul. This is what they had in mind about stringing at-bats together. Competitive at-bats, wearing the pitcher down over pitch after pitch.
A ball and a strike to Lee. On the ground and through the right side for a base hit. Here comes another run. It's 5-0 Korea. Advancing to second on the throw is Lee. As he drives home Sao, and it's getting loud here at the Skydome.
One at-bat flowing right into the other. A lot of offensive momentum. That charismatic leg kick from Lee. Driving in another run. Reading the trajectory on the throw and going right into scoring position.
This is an offense that was 13 for 64. They hit .203 in their first couple of games. Tonight, so far, 6 for 9.
Korea's manager, In-Shik Kim, has to be wondering, where was this in game 1 when we kicked this thing off? As he was saying before the tournament started that we're not hitting. Well, they are now.
Lee is the runner on second after the RBI. Sukmin Park had a ribby single in the first inning. He takes a look at a called strike 1. I would need a chart or something, like a booklet, guidelines for all the different chants and cheers and dances. Good job on these fans for keeping everything straight.
Yeah, you do the mashed potato, the bony Maroni, and you do the twist. And then you got to pause and kind of get your breath back before you repeat the whole process. There we go.
That's what it's all about.
The hokey pokey. That's what it's all about.
The 0-2. Excuse me, swing, but he stays alive. .195 home runs for Sukmin Park. He's kind of the bat complement to Youngmin Her and his glove at third base. So we've seen that as a bit of a revolving door at third for Korea throughout these first few games. Again, the 0-2 with Lee off second, up and in on Park, 1-2.
Yeah, Kim elected to go with the good left side defense to start this pool, and Park did not play, had some elbow discomfort. Doesn't look like it tonight. Single in his first at bat. Seems to be swinging the bat well. And he's got some thunder, he's got some power.
That one got the leg of Park.
Trying to go inside, and that one's going to leave a little Charlie horse on that lower hamstring.
Well, Kuo got the start in the opener for Chinese Taipei, considered their ace. Coming out of the bullpen here in game 3. Opponents 8 for 10 against him so far in the WBC. And it looks like that's going to be it for him. We'll see the third pitcher of the night for Chinese Taipei, trying to keep this within striking distance, down 5-0 in the second. Welcome back to Seoul.
That's the noodles we were talking
There
about.
you go.
The local delicacy. Nothing like it.
It's been fun. We're not that far away from one of the markets around here, and just being able to walk around and all the different sights and sounds and smells and flavors. It has been truly a great experience. New pitcher for Chinese Taipei is Wei Lun Pan, 34-year-old, who announced that this WBC will be the last time he suits up for the national team. Pitched in the 2006 and 2013 WBC and was slated to be on the 2009 team as well, but couldn't play due to injury. But he's in here with Lee on second, Park on first, and the big bat of Dae-Ho Lee stepping to the plate. That's in there for a called strike. Lee struck out in the first inning. Struggles continue for him. Now 3 strikeouts and 1 for 10 in the WBC. It'll be an 0-1. It's outside. Better late than never. You look at the opportunities for Korea. 1 for 8 with 9 left on. 0 for 5 with 7 left on. They have not had those same struggles here. And a chance to even improve on those numbers further with the big bat of Dae-Ho Lee up.
See if he has a well-timed swing. It was much better, much more on time. He's been very tentative. He's had some check swings. A couple of times he's almost tried to take the ball out of the catcher's mitt. The timing really has been off, and you look at those quotes right there, and you think Triple Crown winner, to have these type of at-bats that we've seen, and very, very surprising.
1-2 pitch coming to the 2010 KBO MVP. Oh, that got him right in the ear flap. Oh, that did not sound good. Han's a guy with just 3 walks in 52 and a third innings last season.
Boy, and unfortunately, that was not a glancing blow off the helmet. That was a direct hit right off the ear flap. He does seem to be okay, which is signs look all right. And I don't know if he lost it. Sometimes that ball just has your number on it where it just keeps tailing. And he turned away at the very last moment. And if he didn't, he would have got it right in the face.
Dae-Ho Lee still being tended to. Another angle. Oof.
He just really, he reacted very late. Remember Giancarlo getting hit by Mike Fiers a couple of years ago, and it looked like he was still trying to hit, and he was opening up to it, and I'm surprised that he didn't. I mean, he looks okay, other than some ringing in the ear. He looks like he's shaking it off pretty well, which is really a great sign. He's going to stay in the game.
Well, looks like he's okay, and that's the good news. Now the reaction of Han after the hit by pitch of Dae-Ho Lee right in the ear.
Obviously very concerned, and Dae-Ho Lee, a huge name in Asian baseball.
Well, now it's Asap San who led off this inning with a strikeout, getting his second at bat here in the second inning. Bases loaded and 2 out. Lee, Park, and Lee, the runners third to first. Now, if you go back over the last 3 years in Chinese professional baseball, Han just 3 hit by pitches to the 1,180 batters faced. Just 1 last season. Superb command. That one just got away from him. Thankfully, Dae-Ho Lee stays in the game. 1-1. Straight back, 1-2. So just to clarify that Golden Glove winner, those of you that are familiar with Major League Baseball, you hear Gold Glove all the time. That's more so for the defense. The Golden Glove is awarded to the best overall player at the position, both offense and defense. So the fact that Sun's got 4 of them certainly saying something. Off the end of the bat, tap to third to be a tough play, bobbled, and a run will score. Now 6-0 Korea.
Well, you hit it so weakly, it was good. A swinging bunt. And even if he comes up with this cleanly, he comes up throwing in one motion. No way to get San at first base, who runs well. And the hits just keep on coming.
Some harder hit than others. Park at third. Lee at second. And Sun at first after the RBI dribbler for Yuichi Yang, who singled and scored earlier in this frame. 5 runs already home for Korea. And the base is still loaded with 2 outs. Mentioned the Golden Gloves for Sun. 3 consecutive Golden Gloves at catcher for Yuichi Yang. Chance to really blow this game open here. 6-0 with the bases loaded. The pitch misses. 1-1. 11th batter of this inning for Korea. To left, toward the line. Making the grab is Chang. And the inning is over. A terrific play on defense to put an end to a 5-run inning. 5 runs on 5 hits for Korea. And it could have been a lot more. We're back to Seoul in a moment. Welcome back to Seoul as Dae-Ho Lee remains in this game after taking a pitch to the ear flap in the top of the 2nd inning, part of a 5-run inning for Korea. They have opened up a 6-0 lead. What does the WBC mean? It means I don't want to come out of a game when I get hit. I'm staying in, doing it for my country. That's what Dae-Ho Lee did, so he's still out there. A 6-0 edge for the host country as 4, 5, and 6 do up for Chinese Taipei. Lin, and Gao. This is the team captain taking upstairs. You know, way back when in the bottom of the 1st inning, Yang struck out the side on 19 pitches. And then his offense opened up to give him a very large cushion.
Yeah, we were mentioning, speaking of Lee, that he was kind of out of sorts, wasn't swinging the bat very well. His timing was off. He gets hit right in the ear flap and goes down to his knee, and he's a tough cookie, staying in the game. And if he hadn't turned away at the last moment, and it was a very late reaction, that ball would have caught him clean square in the face. And it's over there at first base, the proud big man, like nothing ever happened.
Stoic. The 3-2. May have gotten a piece of who, a really good piece of who, as he waves off the trainers. 109 game on base streak. 109 game. Just to put that into perspective, Ted Williams got on base in 84 straight games back in the day. 4th strikeout for Yang. Let's take a closer look at some of the rules for the WBC. Round robin in the 1st and 2nd rounds before single elimination once everything gets to Los Angeles in the 2017 version. Things wrapping up here in Seoul, underway in Tokyo, just about to get underway in Miami and Jalisco. A fun 3-week tournament that happens every 4 years. We're about a week or so into this one. As we say goodbye to Seoul, again, action in Tokyo in its first couple of days of Pool B play. Things have yet to get underway in the North America pools in Mexico and Miami, but when they do, that will be just as exciting as it's been on this side of the globe.
All great ballparks. This one, quite the crown jewel. This stadium built in 2015.
Lofted to left, coming in and having to play it on a hop, and it squirts away from Min. Towards second goes Lin, and he's aboard with 1 out.
We've talked about sometimes the outfielders have difficulty tracking the ball in the roof and the lower bank of lights. That's not the case here for Min, who was running at the crack of the bat. Just one of those perfectly placed dying quails. It is a beautiful venue, and you know, with the yellow line up there on the ceiling, kind of the Tropicana Field type catwalk rules in these games, we have not seen one ball hit the roof.
And that was probably a little bit of a combination of a few different things on that ball, whether it was just the sound of the bat and the actual speed off the bat being two different things. Maybe it gets lost in the lights a little bit, but I want to ask you about that roof. We saw it this afternoon. It's more of a translucent roof, so it looks darker now because it's nighttime here in Seoul. As this one in the air toward left center field. That one's falling fast. It will get down. Being held at third is Lin as Gao is aboard.
Boy, Lee was playing really deep. And that ball was in the air a long time. You get a look at it from, pretty much our vantage point right here. And Lee not even in the picture. He's running towards the side and not in.
First and third, Lin on third, Gao at first for Youngji Chen, the shortstop. About that roof, Joe, is it easier to see a ball at night as opposed to during the day?
Yeah, most definitely. The lights take better effect, and of course when the sun's out kind of shining through the top of the roof, the ball tends to blend in a little bit more. It's the same dynamic in the Metrodome, the same in Tropicana Field, and much easier to track the ball now. See, it's a little darker there at the top of the roof.
Third pitch for Yang is in there for a called strike. Just for bookkeeping purposes, the ball hit to left field that got down in front of Min, kicked away from him, was ruled a double. Nevertheless, he's on at third and Gao at first. Chance for Chinese Taipei to get right back in this game. High chopper right side. They get one. That's all they'll get. Run comes in to score. On the RBI fielder's choice for Youngji Chen, it's now 6-1. Kun Sheng Lin, the catcher, digs in. Saw action on Wednesday against the Kingdom of the Netherlands. 1 for 3 with a walk. 30-year-old who was on the 2009 WBC roster but did not appear in a game. Drove in the winning run in the 2016 Taiwan series when his bouncer was mishandled. Come up with a big hit right here and keep this inning going and keep Chinese Taipei chipping away. And boy, how big was that play to end the top of the second inning in left field for Ji Hao Chang. That diving play with the bases loaded. If that gets down easily, 3 runs are scoring. This is a high chopper. Flip to second, not in time, to aboard.
Well, the surface not only is fast, but it is very springy. You see the high hop. The only play for Kim is at second base, and not only with the high bounce, there's a lot of hang on that toss to second base. Chen making it in there easily.
Not much that Sao could do. He's got to stay on the bag. It's a force play, but as Joe mentioned, the ball just kind of floating at a couple of different points of that particular play. So Chen at second, Lin at first. For Che Xuan Lin, the center fielder, down the third base side and foul. Lin's 28-year-old who was the MVP of the All-Star Futures game in 2008 at Yankee Stadium. Signed out of high school by the Boston Red Sox in 2007. Played in 9 games with the Red Sox in 2012. Was 3 for 12 in that limited time. This is his 3rd WBC.
And at band camp.
The 0-1. And of course, the last All-Star game at the old Yankee Stadium. Two on, two out. And now 1 ball and 2 strikes. You know, for Yang, no KBO pitcher's thrown more innings than him since the start of the 2014 season. As the inaugural winner of the Choi Dong-Wan Award as the top KBO pitcher in 2014. Trying to limit the damage in the second. Oh, another hit by pitch, and the bases will be loaded.
Wow, see, we've seen so many pitches in and off the plate, and errant pitches in and off the plate. And the Asian culture of baseball, there typically is not a lot of beanball going on back and forth. The previous inning lead did get hit in the head, and that pitch was crowded in there, and I don't think there was intent behind it. And one of the reasons why the pitching coach is coming out there just trying to calm his pitcher down and get some outs and protect this lead.
Bottom of the second inning, already the 3rd hit by pitch that we've seen. Those are your runners, Chen, Lin, and Lin, 3rd to 1st. 6-1 game, top of the order. Chin Lung Hu, the DH, who struck out in the 1st inning, bats with 2 away in the 2nd. Line to right, base hit. 1 run scores. The throw cut off, and it's 6-3.
Hu lowering the boom on that low fastball. You could just hear the crack of the bat and how well that was barreled up. The at-bats that Chinese Taipei is stringing together, cutting the lead in half and feeling that they're right back in it.
Lin on at 3rd and Hu on at 1st. 5 runs in the top of the inning for Korea, 3 runs so far in the bottom of the inning for Chinese Taipei.
Jiang making the pitcher tuck his chain in with the reflection, becoming a distraction. He actually seems distracted the way he's pitching in this inning.
Chang struck out in the 1st. Takes upstairs here in the 2nd. He's had himself a good WBC otherwise. He's trying to keep the line moving. Or more. The 1-0. 2-0.
Paul, for someone who has historically thrown so many innings, been an innings eater, and with the big lead that he has had, letting Chinese Taipei back into the game, not stepping on their neck. It's kind of weird to see him throwing this many pitches out of the zone and really being in hitters' counts. To get back to pounding the strike zone.
Two balls and a strike on the left fielder Chang. 1st and 3rd, 2 away in the 2nd. Chopped to 2nd, gobbled up, inning over. But Chinese Taipei gets 3 runs back. It's 6-3 after 2. Back here in Seoul, Paul Severino and Joe McGrain. Of course, right as we come back on the air, Dae-Ho Lee puts the ice pack down, but he's still giving himself some attention to that left cheek in which he was hit by a pitch in the ear flap in the second inning.
Yeah, his jaw was rattled a little bit, maybe rattled some fillings or something. That got him right on the ear flap, and he keeps putting ice on it. And kudos to him for staying in the ball game.
He's one of the sluggers for Korea. Tae-Kyun Kim another, even though he's 0 for 7 in this tournament, out of the lineup due to flu-like symptoms. So Korea's going to have to go about it the way they've been doing it so far, stringing hits together. They have 7 on the scoreboard so far. Youngwoo Choi takes a look at strike 2. 7, 8, and 9 due up for Korea in this inning. 11 men came to the plate in the second. Choi singled and scored in the last frame. An 0-2 from Pan. Just misses outside. The 1-2. Driven high towards center. Back is Lin for out number 1. Pan, the third pitcher for Chinese Taipei in this ball game. It was Kwon Yu Chen who got the start. Lasted just an inning and a third. He left with what we assume to be a blister issue. High chopper to third. On the backhand is Chen. Infield single for Ha-Sung Kim. Again, Chen went an inning and a third, 4 hits, charged with 3 runs, all of them earned. Kuo came in a third of an inning, 2 hits. He too charged with 3 runs, a walk and no strikeouts. And now it's Pan against Gun Chang So, the center fielder, who had a 2 RBI double in that 5-run second inning for Korea. 27 years old, MVP of the KBO in 2014. Led the league with a .370 average that year.
The catcher really crowding the inside corner. Trying to get Pan to start that fastball off the plate and bring it back, Greg Maddux style. So really holds his hands behind himself more than any hitter that I have seen before, but he gets it out there.
A 1-0 to Sao.
He's got kind of that, going into the Wayback Machine, that Stan Musial-like peeking over his front shoulder crouched stance.
This is the story of the second inning. 5 hits, 2 hit by pitches, including Dae-Ho Lee in the ear. That was for Korea. For Taipei, 3 runs on 4 hits. And this is a ball game in the third inning. 6-3 Korea on top. Kim off of first. Chopped right side. 1. That's all they'll get.
Paul, all of a sudden everything is being chopped into play right now. I've seen about 4 of these in a in the span of one inning.
So Sal replaces Kim at first, and there are two away for the top of the lineup. Byung Hyun Min doubled and scored in the first. Drove in a run with a sacrifice fly in that 5-run second. Min was second on the KBO champion Doosan Bears in runs scored, third in RBIs. And what's at stake here tonight is win, or else the likelihood of having to qualify for the next World Baseball Classic increases greatly. Both of these teams come into this ball game winless, falling to Israel and the Kingdom of the Netherlands, the two teams that advance out of Pool A to round 2 in Tokyo.
How did the qualifier work out for Israel?
I think well. Israel advancing to its first WBC by winning a qualifier in Brooklyn in September. They lost a modified double elimination qualifier last time around in 2012, lost in the final, despite the fact that they were 2-0 going into that game. They finished the job in September. Throw down to second. Got him. Out number 3 on a caught stealing to end the top of the third. A 6-3 lead for Korea. Back here at Gochuk Skydome, Paul Severino and Joe McGrain with you. A new shortstop for Team Korea as Jae-ho Kim takes over. 31-year-old who was selected as the captain prior to the tournament by In-shik Kim. So he will take over at short for Ha-sung Kim. As Ji-shen Jang steps in to kick things off in the bottom of the third. 3, 4, and 5 due up for Chinese Taipei, trailing this one 6-3. They gave up a 5 spot in the top of the second inning, but came right back with 3 of their own in the bottom of the second inning to make this a ball game. And if not for a terrific play in left field, with the bases loaded and 2 outs, diving at the line, and that ball would have fallen in fair. Ji-hao Jang made a great play to end the inning. If that ball gets by him, it is likely a 9-0 game. There's a strikeout for out number 1. 5th strikeout for Yang. So again, Korea and Chinese Taipei, unfortunately for those countries, not moving on in the World Baseball Classic. But Israel and the Kingdom of the Netherlands do so, as Israel went 3-0. They won their 3rd game earlier this afternoon here in Seoul over the Netherlands. So those two teams going to Tokyo for round 2. And they'll meet the 2 winners, or the 2 teams that advance out of Pool B. Australia, Colombia, China, and Japan, the 4 teams playing there. Ji-sheng Lin fouls it away, 0-2. Lin's been a mainstay on Chinese Taipei teams for over a decade. But he looks at a called strike 3, 6th strikeout for Yang. And there are 2 away here in the 3rd.
Wow, this is the kind of authoritarian pitching that he needs to do. After kind of fiddling and diddling around in the previous inning. Backdoor cutter. Lin thinking the ball is outside. Never looked good to him. Good pitch.
First pitch to Yi-Xuan Lin is in there for a called strike. How about 6 strikeouts for this guy?
Well, he's doing a much better job of pounding the strike zone in this inning. Do do that, you feel more aggressive, you're in charge, you're more decisive. And he's locked up some pretty good hitters. Get 2 quick outs.
You know, some here locally thought that Yang might get the ball against the Dutch. He was unquestionably one of their 2 best starters, with Wan Jen Chang being the other. Instead, he gets the ball here. He's been effective. The 6 strikeouts. Able to limit some of the damage in the second inning, limit to just a 3-run frame and keep Korea on top. Next pitch will be his 55th. And keep in mind the pitch limitation, 65 for the first round. You can surpass 65 pitches if it is to finish a batter. Line, fair ball toward the left field corner. Lynn around first, and this will be extra bases with 2 outs here in the 3rd. His second double.
A careless 0-2 pitch by Yang. Out over the plate and up. And as a left-handed hitter, Lin doing a beautiful job staying with that pitch that was cutting away from it.
Wohei Gao steps in. He singled in the second inning. Runner in scoring position, 2 outs.
All this scoring happened so early. It's given Chinese Taipei a chance to feel like not only are they right back in it, but have a chance to get things going. Sometimes you give up a lot of runs and you just really just kind of relax, simplify your game, see ball, hit ball. The at-bats were really good in the second. So are the cheers.
They have not stopped. The 1-1. Popped up on the infield. Making the play is Kim, and the inning is over. 6-3 through 3 in Seoul. One of the many markets here in Seoul. It's been fun checking out another part of the world. Hopefully bringing some of these pictures to you is a little bit of a glimpse into what's going on here in Seoul, South Korea. It's been a pleasure for us to be here the last few days. Unfortunately for us, this is it, the final game of pool play here in Seoul, South Korea. Paul Severino and Joe McGrain with you as we move to the top of the 4th inning. Pond still out there. His 23rd pitch is in there for a called strike to the leadoff hitter and left fielder, Young Hyun Min. Doubled and scored in the first and had a sac fly in the second, a 5-run second for Korea.
Oh,
a little off.
A good hanging breaking ball to jump all over. He knows he missed one there.
A called strike 3. The history of baseball in Korea goes back to 1905. The KBO was established in 1982. Chan-ho Park became the first player born in Korea to make his major league debut. He's here calling the games as well. They have gone to the semifinals of the WBC and lost, to the finals and lost. And again now with this in 2017, back-to-back first-round exits. Their manager, In-shik Kim, managing Korea for the 3rd time, also the skipper in 2006 and 2009. And it all started out so promising as Lee lays down the bunt, and a lovely job by Jang to think twice about putting a glove on that one. It's going to be a tough play, and let it roll beneath his glove.
Yeah, just kind of reading the spin on that ball, and also knowing by the time he got to it with the speedy left-handed Lee there that he was not going to get him even if he comes up with it. So roll the dice and let it roll. Foul ball.
Heads up play at third by Zhang.
Yeah, Lee's done a lot of attempts at bunting in this pool and has yet to be successful. Even with that big leg kick extended, still bunting. And hitters normally have a knee lift, but once he lifts that knee, he extends with his foot in an effort to just kind of stay back and then float into the ball as a timing mechanism. Float on.
Just wonder where someone picks that up, you know, and what did it stem from?
I don't know. Maybe it's because he's always been a little guy, and when he first started swinging a bat, you know, it was so heavy for him that he was trying to get all and everything he had behind him to swing it.
Whatever works.
It is kind of a timing mechanism now more than anything.
He hit 352 with 98 runs scored and 21 stolen bases for the Hanwha Eagles in 2016. The 2-2 goes down and gets that one, golfs it to right field, and it falls for a base hit, and he takes his bat all the way with him to first.
Now that's bat control right there, taking it all the way to first. Now look at this. This is like a two-handed backhand lob in tennis that catches the back line.
Well, I mean, it makes sense. When you're done with your club, you hand it right to your caddy. So that's exactly what he did right there.
Yeah, very economical.
Now the number 3 hitter and third baseman, Suk Min Park. Fouled away. Park, a 31-year-old who hit a career high 32 home runs in 2016.
And Lee looking a little squirrely over at first base, like he wants to run.
Bluffs stays put, 0-2. He had 21 stolen bases last year, was caught 10 times though. Over his 13 KBO seasons, 306 stolen bases. Cheers going back and forth. They're more prevalent when the home country or the country is at the batter's box. So that's why it's been a consistent level throughout this evening. But the Korea contingent down the left field line chanting away with their team up 6-3. Ripped through the left side for a base hit. 2 on and 1 out in the fourth.
Well, they're starting to provide some entertainment for their faithful following. It's nice to know that even though they've been eliminated and no chance of advancing, their fans still showing up, and Dae-Ho Lee still showing up after being hit in the ear hole of the helmet.
pridefully staying in the game.
Lee at second, Park on first. Pond gets the sign, comes set, and delivers. A base hit toward right center field. Dae-Ho Lee has driven in a run, and maybe more. They will hold Park at third. It's 7-3 Korea.
I'll give the big fella a lot of credit. He was not shy, not gun shy at all, didn't back away from that. He just stayed really locked in. We know he has power, but he's more of a pure hitter. He's driving that ball Miguel Cabrera style the other way. And to think that he was hitting the air flap in the previous at-bat, good for him. He stayed right in there. Solid double to right.
He was 1 for 10 in the tournament prior to that hard hit ball. And some of those offers had come in big spots.
Yeah, maybe it woke him up a little bit.
Could have been. He was the man who struck out for the final out in the opener against Israel in the 10th inning. He had other chances too, but he comes through with the base hit to extend the lead back to 4 for Korea. Asap Son, the right fielder, digs in. Struck out in the second, and then had an RBI single in the second. And 5-run frame. Chance to tack on. Infield about halfway for Chinese Taipei. Pond delivers. A called strike. Park at third, Lee on second. Oh, 2.
Just really clipping the corners and down in the strike zone.
It will be an 0-2. Sets up inside and misses low and in. A ball and 2 strikes. Son played in the Asian Games in 2014 and 2015 and won a gold medal in the Premier 12 tournament. Keep hearing about that Premier 12 tournament. A lot of teammates on the teams out here that have played on those teams in that tournament. Some familiarity with these players even prior to playing for the national team. Popped up down the right field line. Moving over is Gao. Makes the catch. Throw comes home. It's late, and it's 8-3 Korea. Also advancing on the sacrifice fly to third was Dae-Ho Lee. But now back to a 5-run cushion for Korea as Yuichi Yang will bat. I wonder if they have backups. How do you stay bouncing up and down like that for 4 hours? These games have gone on deep into the night here.
Sugar.
Even that wears off after a while. Chopped to second. Inning over. But 2 more runs come across. Korea stretches it back to an 8-3 lead. Back here in Seoul, Paul Severino and Joe McGrain. To the bottom of the 4th inning we go. Second pitcher of the night for Korea as Chang-Min Sim takes over for Yeon-Jun Yang, who went 3 innings, 5 hits, 3 earned, and 6 strikeouts. The numbers there for Sim in 62 games with Samsung, a 24-year-old who's played with the Lions of the KBO since 2012. 25 for 31 in save opportunities with a 2.97 ERA in 2016. Not a save opportunity here, but just trying to count down the outs for Korea with a 5-run lead into the bottom of the 4th inning.
And a much different look for Chinese Taipei as they'll see this side-winding sim.
First pitch swinging. Routine ground ball to short for out number 1.
Kind of has that arm slot like he's trying to skip a rock across a lake. It's almost level to the ground, parallel to the ground when he is releasing it. Going to keep your fingers on top of the ball as you look at his numbers throughout his KBO career. Yeah, pretty respectable.
And now the catcher, Kun-Sheng Lin, who singled and scored in the 2nd inning for Chinese Taipei. Chopped and through for a base hit. His 2nd of the night. Just seems like, Joe, every time one team scores, the other team, there's a lot of back and forth, and especially for Taipei, who, if you go back to their game against Israel, they were down 6-0 before the bats finally came to life. And that game ended 15-7. They scored 4 in the 9th inning, but they got the bats going late. They were in the game for a long time, in fact, leading until the 8th inning against the Kingdom of the Netherlands, before ultimately losing on a walk-off walk in the 9th. So this team has that never say die type attitude. Although I'm sure they wouldn't like to be in 5- and 6-run holes all the time either, but
I also think culturally they're playing their style of baseball, which doesn't have the pitchers pounding the strike zone a lot. The style, and the coaches will tell you, the Eastern style and philosophy is much different in playing the game than it is in the West, where they pound the strike zone with more strikes as opposed to trying to pitch on the periphery of the strike zone, hit the corners, and being extra careful. Lots of breaking balls even behind in the count. That can lead to big innings if you're not hitting your spots. We've also seen a lot of hitters hit by the pitchers not hitting their spots.
Be 2-1 with Lin off of first. Nice block there by Uiji Yang. The batter, Chae-Suan Lin, Rangers actually tried to convert him into a pitcher back in 2014, and we've seen that strong arm of his in center field over these last few games. Pretty athletic guy, no question about it. He's been a 100-meter sprint and high jump national champion in Taiwan. And now drills this one to left, and it is gone! A 2-run home run. It's 8-5.
Boy, you mentioned what a great athlete he is. Quick hands, getting that pitch that was tailing in, pulling his hands in to get the barrel on the ball. Pretty.
This game is far from over. The back and forth continues. Eight-5 here in the 4th. as Chin Lung Hu locked up for strike 2. Yeah, you just got to keep it in striking distance. And they have done that. Now it's just a matter of the shutdown innings afterwards. Line and caught at shortstop by Kim. As Hu tips his cap to Kim. That's a nice leaping play to take away a base hit. Bounce to the backstop.
Seems like that Korea just cannot really separate themselves from Taipei. These left-handed hitters with the type of arm slot that Sim has should get a good long look at the ball.
That one hit hard, but Sao is right there to gobble it up. 2 more runs come across on the home run. It's 8-5. Welcome back to Seoul. New pitcher for Chinese Taipei, trailing 8-5 going to the top of the 5th inning. Sheng Xiang Huang comes in, a 26-year-old who's been on the EDA Rhinos since 2014. He closed out the final inning of the clincher of the Taiwan series and helped give them their first CPBL title since 2005. And now, Joe, the all-important shutdown inning for Chinese Taipei.
Well, you know, that's something that neither team has done a very good job of tonight. And Korea already scoring 8 runs, but it's never really been able to put away Chinese Taipei. They just keep jumping right back in it. The 2-run home run, just 3 runs down, plenty of time, and I mean plenty of time.
Youngwoo Choi looks at a ball down low, 1-1. 7, 8, 9 due up for Korea here in the 5th. Choi, Jae-ho Kim, who came on as a defensive replacement earlier, and Gunchang Sao. Choi singled and scored in the 2nd, that 5-run frame, and flew out to center field in the 8th. Final line on Pond, 2 1/3, 5 hits, 2 runs. Both of them were earned. He didn't walk anybody in 1 strikeout. Wong, the 4th pitcher of the night for Chinese Taipei. Swing and a miss, 2-2. Just following along.
Yeah.
There you go. Wearing the colors of the Doosan Bears. Two-two. It's fouled away. For Choi, he led the KBO with 30 home runs in 2011. He's averaged 27 home runs per year the last 6 years. But again, he struggled during the exhibitions, was dropped in the lineup leading up to the start of the tournament, and this is his first start, and it comes in a game in which both Korea and Taipei know they are eliminated from the 2017 WBC. So what's at stake in this one here? Win, or else the likelihood goes way up that you will have to qualify for the next WBC.
Well, a little bit too little too late for Korea to get their bats going.
A called strike 3. Choi thought it was ball 4.
Choi kind of has a little bit of that bail and wail to his swing. You'll watch him kind of clear the front step, and That pitch looks way away to him, but it's a pretty good pitch. But his hitting style is really kind of leaving that outer third of the plate unprotected. And Hong made a beautiful pitch.
First pitch to the shortstop, Jae-Ho Kim, is in there for a called strike. Again, Kim's first at bat. He came in as a defensive replacement for Ha-Sung Kim. Toward right field, sinking fast and down for a base hit. It happens only once every 4 years. The World Baseball Classic is finally here. Don't miss your chance to see the best players represent their country. Get your tickets now at worldbaseballclassic.com.
Well, the fans have been saving their routines for 4 years.
The number 9 hitter, Gun Chang Sao. 2 RBI double in the second. Reached on a fielder's choice in the third. Called strike.
Nice to see Wong pouring those strikes in there. Chinese Taipei has gotten back into this game.
Kim off first, stays put. Foul back. It's a good look at the Korea fan base down the left field line, competing with the Chinese Taipei fan base down the right field line. Swing and tap foul at home plate.
Yeah, I think that was the version of "We got spirit, we got spirit. Yes, we do, we got spirit. How about you?"
You might be right. There's just so many and they change so frequently. I'm glad you're able to keep track of that. You have a separate scorecard going for that sort of stuff?
Yep.
Good.
That's a lot better than sweating to the oldies. I know that.
The 0-2 to So is upstairs.
Almost sounds like the melody of good old Rocky Top.
Give us a sample.
But I'm pretty sure that it's not.
Are you going to break into song by the end of this thing? Please tell me the answer is yes. I know you've been inspired. That's why I asked.
I only reckon if we have time.
I think we will. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Second strikeout of the inning for Wong, as Sao is retired.
Now you throw enough strikes, then you can expand the strike zone and draw the hitter out. Wong with a good late sinker. And you see that swing by So, completely fooled. That ball had a lot of movement on it.
Lin and Wong. That's Jinming Wong, by the way, not Jinming Wong, who's on the designated pitchers pool, but of course this being the last game for Chinese Taipei, will not be pitching in the 2017 World Baseball Classic. So you may have heard some whistles, like right there. Oh! And now both sides have been warned, as that is the 4th hit batsman of this ball game. As the home plate umpire, DJ Rayburn, right after the hit by pitch, looked right at Korea and right at Taipei and said, boys, let's knock this off.
Let's look at all of them. I haven't seen this many in quite some time. And of course, Dae-Ho Lee really could have been injured. He stayed in the ball game. That one right between the ribs. And culturally, it really isn't a thing as much as it is in Major League Baseball. But a couple of guys have to feel like pin cushions.
Well, what I was going to say about the whistles is they're to alert fans of foul balls and also to signal the cheerleaders to start chanting. So inside all the sounds of agony from the hit by pitches and the whistles, there's a lot of noises going on here at Go Chuck Sky Dome. Young Q Lee, a strikeout, RBI single. Came around to score and now flies this one out toward left. In his tracks is Chang for out number 3. We're through 4.5, 8-5. More pictures from Seoul, South Korea. It's been a fun week or so for us here, covering Pool A play in the 2017 World Baseball Classic. A beautiful city, lots of little streets like this to get lost on and really explore. Been fortunate enough to do so. Unfortunately for us, so the time here has just about come to an end. Good news is we've had a pretty good ball game. Back and forth, lots of offense, 8-5 as Woo Chen Cha, third pitcher for Korea, is in here in the bottom of the 5th inning to face 3, 4, and 5 for Chinese Taipei as Jiang, Lin, and Lin will bat in the 5th.
That was a good hammer to start the sequence there from Cha. Oftentimes when you throw a good one, you try to get greedy and throw one better when just the same arm action would be plenty good enough.
It's the 3rd appearance for Cha in this WBC. It's his 2nd World Baseball Classic. He's 29 years old. He faced one batter in the 2013 tournament, gave up a hit. He's been much more active in this 2017 version. And now the 1-1.
Broke his bat.
He worked 2/3 of an inning, didn't give up a run against Israel. 2 1/3, no runs to the Kingdom of the Netherlands. So 3 scoreless frames for him. This copyrighted telecast is presented by authority of World Baseball Classic Incorporated. May not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without express written consent. Jiang, the victim of 2 strikeouts so far, looking to avoid a 3rd. And he will as he pokes it out to left. But Min puts it away for the 1st out. Cha also played on the Premier 12 gold medal winning South Korean team in 2015. Pitched 7 scoreless innings in Game 5 of the 2011 Korean Series. And after spending 11 seasons with the Lions, he signed a 4-year deal worth the equivalent of $8.1 million with the LG Twins this offseason. As he works here to the team captain of Chinese Taipei.
Boy, Paul, from the numbers and salaries that you've quoted from these Korean professional players, it sounds like everybody's making $2 million. Except Dae-Ho Lee, who recently signed a new contract.
Largest ever in KBO history. Yeah, they love their baseball here. So, I mean, we've seen it in small doses.
Well, it's growing and becoming more profitable, along with the attendance that continues to grow. And the support.
Yeah, that's the thing. We've only been here about a week or so, but the energy in the ballpark has been high, and it's been fun to be a part of. As Lin strikes out for out number 2 here in the 5th. Third time Lin has been set down on strikes. Yishuan Lin, the first baseman, couple of doubles for him in this one. Also came around to score in the 2nd inning. At 3-run second that helped Chinese Taipei close it to then a 6-3 deficit. They allowed 2 more runs in the top of the 4th before scoring 2 runs in the bottom of the 4th on the 2-run home run by Yishuan Lin.
Cha can continue to keep the ball away from Lin because he kind of steps in the bucket and kind of clears and leaves the outer third of the plate. They're trying to go out there. He doesn't have a chance. Yes, he did. I talked earlier about Cha having a good breaking ball and swung over that by a foot. And again,
he went around. 2nd strikeout of the inning. We are through 5. Back here in Seoul, Gochok Skydome. Paul Severino, Joe McGrain with you. 8-5 as we go to the top of the 6th. Korea in front here as Pool A play wraps up. Pool B, Japan is the host country and in control after wins over Cuba and Australia. Pool C is where the United States and the defending champion Dominican Republic are. And Chris Archer is going to start game 1 against Colombia. The King, Felix Hernandez, will start game 1 for Venezuela against Puerto Rico. So as Pool A wraps up, Pool C and D yet to get underway. The action is right in the thick of things in Tokyo. Bat goes flying. Oh, man. Bats have been going everywhere, hit by pitches. Goodness gracious.
It's a bat that turned into a boomerang. You know, and with the warnings out there, and I don't know if he was trying to apologize there, but didn't it look like he just kind of flung that?
A little bit.
Might have to look at that again because it didn't look like it necessarily slipped out of his hands, at least not originally to me.
The 0-1 off the end of the bat of Suckmin Park, now 0-2. Again, as Pool A play winds down here, final game here, both of these teams winless, so the game plan for them is get a win and increase your likelihood of not having to qualify for the next World Baseball Classic. Israel and the Kingdom of the Netherlands are already headed to Tokyo, at least in theory. They'll be here tomorrow for workouts, but they will be headed to the 2nd round in Tokyo after Israel went undefeated here in Seoul and finished off the Kingdom of the Netherlands earlier this afternoon in a 4-2 victory. So this will put the wraps on Pool A play. Pool C and D will be an interesting pool as well, with the United States, of course, looking to get over the hump in the World Baseball Classic, just a 10-10 record overall. The Dominican Republic, they've won this whole thing before, and they did so in undefeated fashion last time around. And then the host country, Mexico, dealing with some injuries along the way. See what they can do in Pool D. And Joe, we had a chance during the opener between Israel and Korea, which was the opener, obviously, of pool play, but also the opener of the World Baseball Classic itself. And we were fortunate enough to have the commissioner of Major League Baseball, Rob Manfred, up in our booth for a half inning. And obviously the pride that goes into it from the league office, from the Players Association, and all the pride of all the fans of the countries, and over 2.4 million fans that have attended the WBC over these previous 3 tournaments.
Well, this being the 4th WBC, and it continues to grow and grow, and the players continue, at least the major league players, continue to really buy in and invest in it. And a pleasure to see that WBC actually become a true worldwide, incredibly competitive event.
I think it's fair to assume that there are a lot of Team USA supporters listening to the telecast, and a lot of people think that this is the strongest team that they have put forth, the strongest roster. And you know, one of the main complaints with the WBC, and it's not limited to just the United States, it's across the board. Called strike 3 for out number 1 here in the 6th. You know, the complaint is, well, you know, is this the right time to do it? Pitchers aren't ready to go, and all sorts of stuff like that. But I don't know what you think, Joe. I think this is really the best and the only time to do that, because you can't hold it at the end of the season, because guys have already worked their 150 to 200 innings. And it's going to be hard, especially if you have it in November, for guys that didn't make it to the postseason to shut it down and get it going again.
Well, there's no time that's absolutely perfect, and this is the best time, actually.
You know, and then the other suggestion would be, well, do we have it at the All-Star break? Well, it's a 3-week tournament, and the hope is to grow the tournament and get more teams involved. So we already have 16 countries involved. It'd be hard to grow this thing any bigger and chop it down into the All-Star break. Be playing 7-8 games a day. I know you've got the stamina for that, Joe. I don't know about me.
Oh, absolutely.
Scattering the dugout there. Look out.
Look at this pitch earlier that really could have been a lot worse than it was. Took that right in the ear flap, came back in his next at bat and hit a rifle shot to right center field. This guy is not afraid of the ball.
The 0-2 is in the dirt. Ball and 2 strikes. There have been 7 strikeouts for Korean batters in this ball game. 5 have gone down looking, and a lot of check swings really on both sides.
Yeah, that's the thing that has not been lost on me. That so many of these hitters have check swings. Now, the umpires first and third have been incredibly busy on did he go or did he not. And I don't know what the real reason for that is. Obviously, it's being tentative or indecisive about really committing whether to swing or not. I've never seen so many check swings. Just a lot of guess hitting.
And now
he's out
Wong
of the game.
has been thrown out of the game. Of course, warnings had been issued earlier, and as soon as Dae-Ho Lee got hit by the pitch, the home plate umpire DJ Rayburn says, "Get out of here."
He has to be told to leave, and that ball bounced, I think, before it hit Lee. But when DJ Rayburn had the warnings issued, and it was good that we were able to get in front of that, and that looked like a little type of turnover or changeup. So I don't think there's any intent. You know, it bounced.
And that's really the thing. When the warnings are issued, it's not just that, all right, the next batter who gets hit, the pitcher's thrown out of the game. You can't take that away from the pitchers. But was there intent? DJ Rayburn says yes. A pitching change in Seoul. Back here in Seoul, Paul Severino and Joe McGrain with you. As Dae-Ho Lee was just hit by a pitch for the 2nd time in this ball game, he's been lifted for a pinch runner as Jae-Won Oh, the 32-year-old, comes in to pinch run. Let's look there at Dae-Ho Lee going back into the clubhouse, and After a couple of times of being hit by a pitch, I'm sure he's not that thrilled, although I don't know how much intent there was on the last pitch, even though warnings had been issued. DJ Rayburn said that Wong's night was done. So now it's Chen-Hua Lin coming in, a 28-year-old who's pitched in the CPBL since 2012, primarily a starter from 2012 to 2014, but he started only 3 games the last couple of years.
Yeah, I think it was more about Dae-Ho Lee had already been hit in the ear flap and then hit for the second time. You mentioned that the warnings were issued. Pitch was bounced about 2 feet in front of Dae-Ho Lee, and it looked like it was kind of a turned over type changeup. Certainly no intent. I don't think that's going to stop people from getting hit, because these guys have been all over the place from a command standpoint. So someone else is probably going to go.
Eight, 5, top 6. The 0-1 tap back to the mound. The second for 1, no throw to first, but they get the lead runner. One on and 2 out here in the top of the 6th inning, as Asap San is on at first for Yuichi Yang, the catcher, who singled and scored in the second. And he was the one who was up with the bases loaded and 2 outs in the second inning. Floated one down the left field line, and Chi Hao Chang made a miraculous catch, diving toward the line to make the play. And if that ball gets down, I venture to guess that 3-run score, and at that time it would have been a 9-0 lead for Korea. That one misses outside. Let's take you back to the second inning. This was the one to end the inning. A diving play on the back end of a long run by Chang. That ball would have fallen fair, and if it did, odds are it's 9-0 Korea in the second. And who knows where Yang winds up. Throw down to second is not in time.
Wow. It's a tough call for the umpire with the high tag, but it looked like the tag was down before his hand got into the base. Good strong throw. He's out. Lin at second, knowing he was out. That's pretty clear.
And we'll reiterate, instant replay is part of the World Baseball Classic, but it expands as the tournament goes on. In pool play, it's just home runs over the wall and home runs fair or foul. So no matter how close that play was, it is not reviewable. Chop to the right side. Good hop for Lin. Inning over. No runs across. And 8-5 lead. Welcome back to Seoul. New first baseman is Jae-Won Oh, who came on as a pinch runner for Dae-Ho Lee. Normally a second baseman, but playing first in this situation. But it, I guess if you're looking for a silver lining, at least familiar with the right side of the infield. Woo Chan-cha stays in the ball game for Korea, working with an 8-5 lead into the bottom of the 6th inning. 6, 7, and 8 due up for Chinese Taipei. And the first pitch to Guo Hei Gao, the right fielder, misses for ball 1. Gao singled in the second inning and lined out in the third. Chen and Lin to follow. High pop, right field. Easy play for Sun. a game started by Hyunjong Yang. 3 innings, 5 hits, 3 earned runs. Didn't walk anybody and struck out 6. But all 3 of those runs came across in that second inning, and it was a wild second inning. Korea scored 5 in the top of the frame. And we showed you a moment ago that it could have been even worse for Chinese Taipei if not for a great play by their left fielder. So they scored 5. They led it 6-0 going into the bottom of the second inning when Taipei came back with 3 of their own. 2 in the top of the 4th by Korea, and 2 in the bottom of the 4th inning for Chinese Taipei. Gets us to our 8-5 score here in the bottom of the 6th. Final game of Pool A here in Seoul. Kingdom of the Netherlands and the undefeated Israel off to Tokyo in round 2. Those 2 teams squared off earlier this afternoon. Israel coming in their first WBC and able to knock off the heavily favored, star-studded Kingdom of the Netherlands to keep their record perfect in their first trip to the World Baseball Classic.
It's going to be interesting to see how Jerry Weinstein rolls out his pitching for the second round in Tokyo. There's a little bit more wiggle room with his pitchers as far as restrictions. You can throw 80 pitches with the limit. The limit in this pool was 65. Jason Marquis has started twice in this pool, and he figures to start Sunday. It was a tune-up for him today. But a great story for Israel advancing in its first WBC to the second round.
Pitching coach for Korea, Dong-yeol Sun. As it looks like we are freshening up the rosin bag. Gotten quite a bit of attention, that rosin bag, in this ball game, hasn't it?
Yeah, that's well, the rosin bag not so much, but that powdered bag. You see, that's the little powder, the rosin bag over there right by the spike cleaner. That hasn't gotten the same amount of attention.
Getting a grip on the baseball has certainly been a problem in this game. There have been 5 hit by pitches.
These pitchers have remarked that the Major League Baseball, even though it's rubbed up with mud, it's a lot more slick. It affects the breaking pitches, the split finger fastballs, the changeup. The ball that they normally use feels a little smaller. It's completely white, has a tacky feel, and interestingly enough, Major League Baseball has commissioned Rawlings to develop some prototype baseballs that do not require mud being applied to take some of the slickness off of them, with the idea about enforcing the rule and with the letter of the law about pitchers using pine tar as a grip enhancer or bullfrog sunscreen and rosin.
Is the statute of limitations out, or can I ask you if you used anything, or you want to plead the 5th? I'll give you that option.
No pleading the 5th. I mean, I felt naked if I didn't have pine tar. And the other interesting thing about that rosin bag behind the hill is it gets below 60 degrees and it actually becomes slick. It doesn't really enhance your grip. These guys are using a type of powder, not necessarily rosin, to try to get a better grip on these Major League Baseballs.
Lined and through for a base hit. Chinese Taipei will bring the tying run to the plate with 1 out in the 6th.
Yes, they still got a chance.
So after the fly out, a walk and a base hit, and that brings up Jae-Xuan Lin, who is 1 for 1 in this ball game, and that one was a big one, a loud one in the 4th inning, Joe.
Quick hands on the inside part of the plate, all the way towards the back wall. That was smoked. He leans on one, he ties it up.
The 0-1 in the dirt, a ball and a strike. They know it. They know what he represents. The tying run here in the 6th.
I think they're saying, let's go. It is loud and enthusiastic.
You know, we've been calling these games for however many days we've been here, and we have the headsets on, but every once in a while you just want to take the headsets off and actually hear what it's like to be in the yard. You can see it, you can feel it, but you can't quite hear it.
Yeah, great vibe.
Pop this one up. Infield fly in effect. 2 outs. So around to the top of the order now, and Shin Lung Hu, the DH, struck out in the 1st. And a 2-run single in the 2nd, and lined out in the 4th.
They got it going on.
They got megaphones. They're documenting this whole thing. Here's the pitch. Base hit through the left side. Being waved around and scoring the run is Lin. And it's 8-6. Second RBI single for Hu, his 3rd ribby in fact, and it is a 2-run game. So it's Chen who comes around to score on the base hit. Lin moves to 2nd, and on at 1st is Hu, as In Shik Kim, the manager of Korea, looks on.
So quite literally, for the first time, Paul, who's on 1st? I'll show myself out.
Well, you might not want to leave just yet. Chi Hao Chang, the left fielder who homered against the Kingdom of the Netherlands, digs in. 2 on and 2 out in the 6th.
Well, the Taiwanese fans have gotten Chinese Taipei right back into it. They have come alive.
0 for 3 with a strikeout in this one. The 0-1. This was his high fly ball, towering home run against the Kingdom of the Netherlands, as he salutes the supporters of Chinese Taipei. He'd like to take that sort of trip around the bases here in the 6th. $18 runs in 24 innings for the Chinese Taipei offense.
That home run, he was able to drop the barrel on it down and in. He's looking for something on the inner 3rd of the plate coming from the left-hander.
Park and Jang loosening up for Korea. And the bullpen. A ball and 2 strikes with 2 outs. Crucial spot in this ball game. 1 and 2 and 2 outs. As Korea tries to hang on to their 8-6 lead. Upstairs, 2 balls and 2 strikes.
See if he tries to sweep that breaking ball. No, he's coming in.
Stays alive. Lin the runner on second, and Hu at first. Again, the 2-2 to Chang. Base hit up the middle. Lin around third, he'll score. And Chinese Taipei within a run.
You don't think these guys are playing for something? What a comeback. Smashed up the middle. Chinese Taipei's fans, looks like they got their guys back into it. Yes, sir. Let's go.
Advancing to third on the hit was Hu, so he's on third while Chang's on first. And Ji Shenjiang, the third baseman, will dig in 0 for 3 with a couple of strikeouts. Tying run 90 feet away. Called strike 1. Once down 6-0. It's now 8-7 Chinese Taipei, but that's as close as they'll get here in the 6th. They get a couple back and trail it by 1. Back here in Seoul, final game of Pool A, and it has been a back and forth affair. Lots of hit batters, lots of runs being scored. That was Dae-Ho Lee getting hit and then getting a hit. It was a 5-run second inning for Korea. Chae-Swan Lin with the home run for Chinese Taipei, who just continues to chip away. It is 8-7 here in Seoul as we go to the top of the 7th inning. Young Woo Chi, the DH, takes ball 1 as Choi is 1 for 3 with a single and a run scored. He walked and came around in that 5-run second inning. Now drives this one out toward left center field, but Lin has room, 1 away. Closer look at this wild game, the finale of Pool A play here in Seoul, South Korea. Neither of these two teams moving on, but I don't think you'd know it by how the fans are reacting and how these teams are going back and forth. Benches have been worn. There's been 1 ejection, 22 hits, 15 runs, 15 strikeouts, and 5 hit by pitches.
Well, and to think that in the early going, Korea was just moving the line, hit after hit. They were leading 6-0. Chinese Taipei coming back, and now 1 run down, can smell it. Looking for a quick shutdown inning to keep that momentum. Their fans have really gotten into it. Now, on the Korean side, their fans are trying to match that energy.
Jae-Ho Kim's second trip to the plate tonight as he came on as a replacement. Chops one to third. And 2 away. The number 9 hitter and second baseman, Gun Chang Sao, who had a 2 RBI double in the first. In the second, rather, that 5-run inning. Lin is the 5th pitcher of the night for Chinese Taipei. Chen started the game, gave up 3 runs in an inning and a third. Kuo credited with 3 runs, only got 1 out. Han came in after him. He gave up 2 runs. Wong stopped the bleeding with an inning and a third of 1-hit baseball, 3 strikeouts. Right back up the middle for a 2-out knock.
Seen some of those hits where it looks like they're just serving it right into the open court. Just softly rolled up the middle.
And now Lin, the catcher, was calling over the trainer, who kind of stuttered whether or not to go out on the field and give Lin any attention. He seems to say that he's okay.
Yeah, I think that ball got a piece of his pitching hand. Wants to take a couple of warm-ups. The ball's not hit all that hard, and it just got his fingertips, and catch that in the wrong way, it could split a nail.
And that's such a reactionary thing as for
Right.
a pitcher. You almost have to learn not to follow your instincts.
Seen that happen so many times. Ball hit not that hard, and you just think you can knock it down, get it out with the bare hand, and pitcher has to lead the game, but not in this case, thankfully for Chinese Taipei.
Top of the order back around for Korea. Their left fielder, Young Hyun Min, doubled and scored in the first, a sac fly in the second. Struck out, and one of the 5 hit batters in this game in the 5th. Kim was the KBO All-Star Game MVP last July, held here at Gochuk Skydome. 3 for 3, couple of home runs. Not in love with that called strike from the home plate umpire, DJ Rayburn. Action for Taipei. Ming Wong is out there loosening up. Runner on the move, ball in the air, fouled away. One ball, 2 strikes, 2 outs. A 1-run game in the top of the 7th. Just misses. 2 balls and 2 strikes. And these 2 teams know they are not advancing to Tokyo. They found that out yesterday when the Kingdom of the Netherlands won on a walk-off walk against Chinese Taipei to notch their 2nd win, while Israel already had 2 wins. Line foul.
But I got to tell you, this feels like a championship game.
Well, that's what I was going to say.
And they're looking for their first win, each of these teams.
And the hope is that the team that wins this game will avoid, it's not for sure, but the hope is that the team that wins the game will avoid having to qualify for the next WBC. That's usually been the case. If you get a win, you don't have to qualify. So we say that it's likely, but it's extremely likely for the team that walks out of pool play without a W. The 2-2. Count runs full, and that will release Sal from first. With young Q Lee waiting on deck.
First baseman Lynn saying he's going to be playing behind the runner, telling the pitcher. Sal will have a huge running start.
Fast track in the outfield. Anything down toward the gap could score him. Knocked down at third. Gathers, throws, inning over. Middle of the 7th here at the Sky Dome. 8-7 the score. Welcome back to Go-Chuck Sky Dome. A look around here in Seoul. Again, all the different sights and sounds and smells around the different markets around town. So many. It's been a great week for us here. And even though this game is just for pride and the hope of not having to qualify, it has certainly been an exciting ball game. 8-7 into the bottom of the 7th as Siwon Jang, the 29-year-old who's been playing in the KBO since 2007, throws a strike past the number 4 hitter, Chi Sheng Lin, who has struck out 3 times in this game. He's retiring from the national team after this WBC. How many more at bats for him? 0-2.
You know, he is profiled as a career power hitter. His timing's been a little bit off, not only today, but the past couple of games. You see, he's got 30-30 type ability, stolen bases and home runs. Rare double threat.
Breaking ball misses upstairs from Jang, who began playing with the now defunct Hyundai Unicorns. He made the first 7 starts of his career this season. He'd spent his entire career as a reliever. Of course, coming out of the pen here in the 7th, the 4th pitcher of the night for Korea. All 3 of their pitchers have given up runs. Yang allowed 3, Sim 2, and Cha 2 as well. Swing and a miss, strike 3. 4th time Lin has been set down on strikes. There's 1 away.
Just looks like his timing has really been off. That fastball blown by him, and it's been a tough night. He was tardy on that fastball, a little tied up as well. Frustrating.
Yishuan Lin, the first baseman, double and a run scored in the 2nd, and a double in the 3rd.
Well, you certainly didn't think this was going to be a 1-run game in the first couple innings, did you?
No. Not down 6-0 after an inning and a half. But Taipei has fought back to make this a game. And again, the 2nd time in the last few days where they've put themselves in a 6-0 hole. They did that against Israel. And even though they lost that game 15-7, their bats started to come to life a little bit. They carried that into their next game against the Kingdom of the Netherlands. Led for a good chunk of that game before losing on a walk-off walk. Pitcher covers for out number 2.
Nice feed by the first baseman, getting him the ball early to where he could just catch it and then go find the bag. It'd be difficult when the ball arrives at the same time the pitcher is getting to the base. See him just get down, get him the ball early. Play that's practiced so often in spring training and oftentimes not executed during the season. That was not the case there. Well done.
Guo Hagao, the right fielder, takes a look at ball 1. A single in the 2nd, and Nothing since. 3 for 12 in this WBC. My guess is they sleep well here.
Huh?
They sleep well here. You expend all your energy for, we've been going for a little over 3 hours now. It's the bottom of the 7th inning. Very little let up on either side. Amazing atmosphere. Rip fair down the left field line and toward the corner. This should be extra bases for Gao, as he is into second base with a 2-out double.
Well, they just won't go away. Hooking it down the left field line, getting the barrel out. And a single away from making a huge comeback and tying a game.
And now it's up to Young-Chi Chen. Reached on a fielder's choice and scored in the 2nd. Walked and scored in the 6th.
Well, their fans never in doubt.
No, they've been going for a long time.
It's kind of unusual in the middle of the count coming out here. It wasn't like it was a incredibly well-timed swing by Chen.
So what do you think this chat could be?
Well,
It's not
Chen,
mechanics,
yeah.
right?
Chen's the number 7 hitter. It's the bottom of the order. And maybe it's about being careful with 2 outs and a base open, even though it would be the go-ahead run. Be a reminder to finish that breaking ball, make sure it really grinds on it to where it doesn't stay up and hang.
Two outs and a runner on second for Young-Chi Chen. It'll be an 0-1. Floated to right center, falling fast, it's down, and we are tied.
How about that? Right after the mound conference, here comes the breaking ball like it was suggested from the pitching coach off the end of the bat. And 13 is a lucky number.
Young-Chi Chen with the base hit into right center field, just in front of Young-Kyu Lee, the center fielder, who did his best to get there, but at the same time keep the ball in front of him.
I said early in the game that
on the backhand, Yang had to knock that one down, but heads up base running by Chen. He moves into scoring position with 2 outs.
that when Korea was scoring all the runs, the fact that it happened so early and their pitching staff did not control the game by having shutdown innings. Chinese Taipei never thought that they were out of it, and of course they're not. They've come back to tie it, and now have the go-ahead run at second base.
The game is tied at 8 in the bottom of the 7th. The go-ahead run on at second base. At this point, I don't think Chinese Taipei really cares what the official scorer said, but just for bookkeeping purposes, at the moment, I'd leave the door open for an adjustment. That ball into center field was ruled a base hit and an E8, so no RBI for Chen. Again, it doesn't matter. The game's tied at 8. Broken bat right back to the mound. And the inning is over. But Chinese Taipei ties it here in Seoul. Back here in Seoul, Paul Severino, Joe McGrain, we have got ourselves a brand new ball game. 8-8 going to the 8th, and a new pitcher for Chinese Taipei is Jin-Ming Wang, 31-year-old, is pitching in his second WBC through 3 2/3 scoreless innings in the 2013 tournament.
Well, to think that Chinese Taipei down 6-0 has come all the way back to tie it. And so much pride on both sides of the field.
First pitch to Young Kyu Lee is outside.
And they're obviously playing for more than that, Paul.
No question about it. Yeah, this game is means nothing essentially for the 2017 World Baseball Classic, as Israel and the Kingdom of the Netherlands have already advanced from Pool A. But what is at stake is the likelihood of not having to qualify for the next WBC. Nothing set in stone, of course, but as we've seen in previous tournaments, usually if you get a win in pool play, you don't have to qualify. Having to get around the qualification of the next WBC is, well, that and pride, I suppose, on the line here tonight at the Sky Dome.
Great regional rivalry.
First time Korea is hosting pool play. Even though they are not going to advance for a second consecutive WBC, the energy here in Seoul has been terrific. The hospitality has been great. The baseball has been pretty darn good too. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Wang won Rookie of the Year in 2010, became the 10th rookie in league history with 10 or more wins. MVP of the 2011 Taiwan series, notched 3 wins and a hold in 4 games.
Lee trying to get on, utilize that speed. He can run, he can motor. Want to get that lead back.
Serve down the left field line, foul. These 2 countries are separated by a little over 1,000 miles. But right now, these 2 countries are separated by the width of a baseball field. The supporters of Korea down the left field line, supporters of Chinese Taipei down the right field line. They have been going chant for chant all night. Baseball teams run for run. Tied in the 8th.
That one hurt.
With all that armor that Kun Sheng Lin is wearing, that may have gotten him right in the spot that's not covered by the padding.
I thought when I saw it at game speed that it hit him, you know, right in the throwing shoulder above the chest protector. It's exactly right on top of the clavicle area, bony part of the top of the shoulder. That's smart.
3 balls, 2 strikes, nobody out in the 8th. Misses outside for ball 4.
See if Lee gets in the starting blocks and tries to get into scoring position.
This is how it's been going so far in Asia. Pool A here in Seoul, Pool B in Tokyo. Israel and the Kingdom of the Netherlands moving on to the second round, also being played in Tokyo. The host country, Japan, 2-0. Cuba notching a win. Australia and China currently winless in Pool B. Pool C and D get started. Oh, I don't know when. I don't know what time it is. I wish I could tell you. They haven't started yet. They will soon. That's all I can say. Days and nights are mixed up. Forgive us. It's been a long, fun few days out here. This is the last of Pool A games. Sukhmin Park, 2 for 3 and one of the 5 hit by pitches in this game.
Wong a little deliberate to the plate, and the last time Lee was on first base, he was, testing out his jumps, trying to extend that lead, and he wants to run.
Bluffs. Ball 1. At this point, Joe, for the pitcher, even though there's speed over there at first and nobody out, you got to keep the focus on the hitter.
Well, that's always the biggest challenge, and especially now the situation where Lee represents the go-ahead run. You know that he has the wheels to run. You have to be very mindful not to speed up your delivery to where your arm lags and the ball comes up, and then you end up hanging one to the hitter. You see he got a little quick to the plate with that slide step, sped his body up. Going to use that slide step, you always have to make sure that you can throw your breaking ball out of that very abbreviated delivery. And he does. This one a little bit more involved with his leg kick than the previous pitch, the slide step. He was throwing a breaking ball and he was able to get his arm out in front. Throw a good one on the outside corner.
Ball and 2 strikes with Lee off of first. A called strike 3.
What a great pitching sequence. Made the runner Lee stop, checked him over at first, and doubled up with another breaking ball right on the outside corner. Does not get any better than that.
Well, this would have been Dae-Ho Lee's spot. He was lifted for a pinch runner earlier in the game. So Jae-Won-Oh will bat here with 1 on and 1 out in the 8th. Oh took the roster spot of Kun Woo Jong, who's out of the WBC with a knee injury. Known more for his glove than his bat, but he can come through with the stick right here. Tied at 8 in the 8th. Chinese Taipei will have 9-1 and 2 due up for them in the bottom of the inning.
Boy, Wong, when he throws strikes, he paints.
Tsai and Chen heating up in the Chinese Taipei bullpen. Just inside, 2-1. This was a 6-0 game after the top of the second inning. Korea in control, looked like they were gonna maybe coast to their first victory in this WBC. Chinese Taipei has battled back. Chinese Taipei hasn't led after that 6-0 deficit. A 3 spot in the bottom of the second inning to make it 6-3. Korea came back with 2 in the 4th. Taipei answered right back. 8-5 after 4 innings, but 2 runs in the 6th, 1 in the 7th have tied things up.
Guys are getting a lather going.
I think they're keeping a lather going.
I think he wants the home run string.
I know the players sometimes change jerseys throughout a game to get to a dry uni. Hope that guy brought a couple. Getting a workout. Called strike 3. Frozen on the inside corner, 2 away.
Well, the quality of his pitches in this inning with a fast runner on first have really been sensational. And a couple of tight breaking balls, caught looking, and now a fastball that completely locks him up. Look at this. Indecision, and he knew it.
And now it's Asap San. RBI in the 2nd and a sac fly in the 4th. 7 of the 9 strikeouts by Korean hitters have been looking. Had a tough time pulling the trigger against Chinese Taipei pitching. Lee away from first with 2 outs in the 8th. Eight runs, 13 hits for Korea. 8 runs, 12 hits for Chinese Taipei. San's driven in a couple of runs in this game, but he also finished 2nd in the KBO with 42 steals, was only caught 4 times. Has a stolen base in this one as well. Right now it's Lee's speed that Chinese Taipei is trying to corral over there at first.
Might be going with 2 outs.
Stays put, 2-2.
I don't know why he wouldn't try to get into scoring position, at least give the hitter San a shot to drive him in. It's been pretty stationary over there other than a couple of bluff jumps.
Wong gives him a look and comes set. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 out. Called strike 3. After the walk, Wong strikes out. The next 3 batters were tied going to the last of the 8th here in Seoul. Back here in Seoul, a great way to finish off Pool A play in the 2017 World Baseball Classic. Some of the local flavor here in Seoul. It's been a fun week, and finishing off with some really exciting baseball. A new pitcher. 5th of the night for Korea as Jung Hyung Won comes in. 29-year-old who's only played 2 seasons in the KBO, but 148 strikeouts in 141 2/3 career innings. He will face 9-1-2 for Chinese Taipei in the bottom of the 8th inning. Lin, Hu, and Chang due up.
Well, he's already hit a home run. He's got a quick bat, quick hands.
And now it's the right field side's turn. Keep up the pace with what the Korean fans were doing down the left field side.
Came right out of the bullpen, painting the outside corner with 2 pitches.
Kim looking on. A 1-2 pitch coming from Won to Lin. Right field. In his tracks. His son one away. An updated look at the first round standings here in Pool A. Team Israel going 3-0. A bit of an underdog story, even though they've got a lot of experience, stateside experience. They're 3-0. They beat the Kingdom of the Netherlands earlier today. Those 2 teams heading to Tokyo for round 2. In Pool B, the host country Japan 2-0. Australia now 1-1 along with Cuba. Australia and Cuba tomorrow afternoon. That's a crucial matchup there to get that second win. Japan, at least at the moment, likely through, as they will be taking on China, who's had a tough time dropping 2 games to Australia and Cuba. Here we know the 2 teams that are moving on. These are not them, but what they are playing for is the chance to not have to qualify in all likelihood for the next WBC.
And of course, a lot of bragging rights. This has been a hugely competitive game. Great job by Taipei getting back into it, not quitting after being down early. 6-0. Sometimes when you have that early deficit, you just kind of relax and put a couple at-bats together, and they've come all the way back and tied it.
Off the end of the bat to short. 2 away. It's the 3rd appearance for Won. 2/3 of an inning, no runs against Israel. 2 innings and 2 runs allowed against the Kingdom of the Netherlands. Now the left fielder, Ji Hao Chang, with an RBI single in the 6th.
Well, as a pitcher in this situation, you try not to make a mistake on the inside part of the plate.
Popped up. Shallow center. Kim for out number 3. And we go to the 9th in Seoul. Tied at 8. Back here in Seoul, South Korea. Final day of Pool A play. And what a way to wrap things up. Beautiful city of Seoul. Walking the streets. And back inside the ballpark. No shortage of energy here inside Gochuk Skydome. First time Korea has hosted pool play in the WBC. They know that they won't be advancing to the 2nd round this time around. This game has not disappointed at all as we go to the top of the ninth. Jinming Wang's first pitch misses low to the number 6 hitter, Huiji Yang, the catcher. 6, 7, and 8 due up. Youngwoo Choi and Jae-ho Kim due up after Yang.
And Wang had outstanding location in the 8th inning, made some beautiful pitches.
Sky towards center. Lin. Wang, the 6th pitcher of the night for Chinese Taipei. Chen got the start, 3 earned in an inning and a third. He left with a blister issue, we believe. Kuo came in, third of an inning, credited with 3 runs allowed. Han after that, 2 and a third, 5 hits, 2 runs. And Wang came in, 5th, an inning and a third, 1 hit, no runs. Lin after that, inning and 2/3, 1 hit, no runs. And now it's Wang who took over in the 8th.
A lot of these Taiwanese hitters have kind of this bail and wail philosophy where that front foot kind of comes open, front hip, front shoulder come open. They just kind of drag the backside through. It's a little bit of a power leakage. And oftentimes you don't get the same plate coverage.
One guy to keep in mind for Korea is Sung-won-oh. If they unleash that right arm at some point in this game, it could be a real game changer. He worked an inning and a third, gave up a hit and 3 strikeouts against Israel, and when he came in, it was electric.
Yeah, he was legit. Currently the closer for the St. Louis Cardinals.
Two balls and 2 strikes to the DH Choi. Stays alive. Chinese Taipei reached the 2nd round of the 2013 WBC. Winless this go around, 3-9 overall. They had a 78-day camp leading up to this World Baseball Classic. Trying to get out of here with at least a win. Hot shot past Chen at short and into left field.
Well, we've profiled this surface and how every player on every team has said it's the fastest track they've ever played before, and the hops sometimes are tricky, and you see that that one didn't have any bounce. The hop didn't come up, it stayed down the whole way. Really an irregular hop. Looks like we're going to get a pinch runner.
Pinch runner is Kun-woo Park, 26-year-old who played 5 seasons in the KBO with the Doosan Bears. An opportunity for him to join Team Korea arose when Shin-Soo Choo was unable to play. He had 20 homers with a .335 average last year, but now being asked to be a pinch runner for Youngwoo Choi.
Well, Wang, when he had a stolen base threat on base lead the last inning, that's when he really made some beautifully located pitches. You wonder if Korea is going to try to steal a base here.
Park was 17 for 23 in stolen base attempts last season. So it's certainly a possibility. Chance to get that go-ahead run in scoring position.
Doesn't really have that look like he has intent of going.
Line toward left center field and down for a base hit. But Park will hold up at second. First and second, one away. After the base hit by Jae-ho Kim.
Little front foot off the end of the bat. He's kind of shaking his hands a little bit like it rattled his fingers. Slider on the outside corner, it was elevated. You see his expression going, ow, that hurt. He was still shaking his hands, but it worked.
And it hurts less when it gets down, I assume. Leading on the mound as pitching coach Chin Shi Huang goes out.
I'm surprised the pitching coaches on both sides have not used up all of their vernacular and verbiage. All the changes, all the trips.
Well, with all the changes, it's a new audience every time they go out there, I suppose.
Yeah.
So the pinch runner Park is on at second. Jae-ho Kim, the runner, at first.
That's the old adage, don't give him anything good to hit and don't walk him. Thanks.
Yeah. Kun Cheng Sao, who doubled in 2 runs in the second inning and singled in the 7th, will bat here in a tie game in the 9th.
Pitches of Long have lost a little of their snap here in this inning. Last 2 breaking pitches rolling a little bit. Will Sal be able to take advantage? Another check swing.
And he went around 1-1.
We have seen so many check swings, not only tonight, but this whole pool.
This is Sal's home ballpark, as he's played for the Nexen Heroes of the KBO the last 5 seasons. Well, he'll get a few extra cheers if he can come through. In there on the inside corner for strike 2.
Boy, just like the last inning when Long had a runner on, that's when he made his best pitches. And again, ball is on the plate, just nicking the corner. Sal doesn't like it, but that was paint.
To left. It's Chang for out number 2. This is a situation in which Korea would love to get a run across, because the 3, 4, 5 batters are due up for Chinese Taipei in the bottom of the 9th. And these situations are ones that haunted Korea coming into this game. 1 for 13 with runners in scoring position coming into this ball game. They are 5 for 11. And the man on the right side of your screen, Seung-Won Oh, looms. Young Min Kim. He doubled and scored in the first, had a sac fly in that 5-run second inning. Park on second, Kim on first. 2 outs in a tie game in the 9th. It trickles away from Lin to the backstop. and both runners advance. Tying run, go-ahead run 90 feet away.
Well, the catcher, Lynn, kind of reaching for that one. Not in block mode. He's got to get that one in front of him and shift over there and get in front of it.
And now 2 balls, no strikes. Do you walk him? Does it matter? Set up a force anywhere with 2 outs? No?
Just stay out of the heart of the plate. And if you do walk him, so what?
2-0 to Min. 3 balls and no strikes. Young Q Lee waits on deck. I hate to say this game means nothing because it doesn't feel that way. But these 2 teams know they are not advancing to Tokyo. Playing to hopefully not have to qualify for the next WBC. A 3-0. Ball 4, and they will be loaded.
That was the intentional pitch around there, so he's going to take his chances with Lee. Or will he not get that chance?
There will be a pitching change here in Seoul with the bases loaded and 2 outs in an 8-8 game. Back here in Seoul, Go-Chuk Skydome, Paul Severino, Joe McGrain. New pitcher is Hong Wen Chen. We've already seen him in this WBC and seen him in a bases loaded situation. He issued the free pass that for all intents and purposes sent the Kingdom of the Netherlands to round 2 in Tokyo.
And because of that, Paul, I think there's some lingering scar tissue from last night. He does not want to get behind in this situation. See if he grooves one, because Lee should get a pretty good pitch to hit on this first one.
Swings to left. Back is Chang, puts it away. The ball almost came out of his glove in the celebration, but we go to the bottom of the 9th, tied at 8. Back here in Seoul, final game of Pool A play, and we've got ourselves a doozy. 8-8 going to the bottom of the 9th. New pitcher is Hyung-Sun Lee, 33-year-old, who's the closer for the 2-time reigning KBO champion Doosan Bears. But the extra inning rules to keep in mind as Chinese Taipei will look to walk things off here in the 9th, beginning in the 11th inning. Both teams will start with 2 runners on base. Whoever was supposed to lead off will. The preceding man in the lineup will be on 1st and 2nd. Right now, 3, 4, and 5 due up. Shishen Jiang, the 3rd baseman, to lead things off against Lee. Ripped to right field and down for a base hit. It one-hops the wall. Throw into second, not in time. A leadoff double in the bottom of the 9th.
Just a beautiful job of anticipating the breaking ball, waiting on it, and just yanking it right into the corner. He guessed right, was right on time, and in scoring position. Attaboy.
So Korea will go to the bullpen yet again, and one can imagine that it will be Seung-Won Oh, the closer for the Cardinals, trying to keep this one tied in the 9th. Back here in Seoul, Paul Severino, Joe McGrain. Seung-Won Oh, the 34-year-old who's played in every WBC, the closer for the St. Louis Cardinals, comes on. His numbers across the KBO, Nippon Professional Baseball, and Major League Baseball. And a chance here His one job is to keep that man from scoring. Shi-Shen Zhang letting off with a double, and now it's Chi-Sheng Lin, who is the team captain. 0 for 4 tonight. Said that he is going to retire from the national team after this WBC.
And not only 0 for 4, but with 4 strikeouts, wondering if lightning can strike for him.
O's career in the WBC, 2 runs scored in 8 innings, 2 runs allowed rather, in 8 innings and 13 strikeouts. And he had that punch out pitch working the other night.
And not only was his location outstanding, but the life on his pitches in the hitting zone, not the guy you want to be facing after striking out 4 times.
And again, down in the count, 0-2. Such a decorated player is Shi-Sheng Lin.
Lin lamenting the fact that he fouled that one off. It was a little mistake out over the middle of the plate. It's been that kind of night for him. 1 more strike to play with.
The 0-2 upstairs. Lin was the fastest to reach 150 home runs, MVP of the CPBL in 2015. 3rd player to win the Taiwan Series MVP twice. The last time he'll suit up for the national team. Zhang on second. Called strike 3.
Boy, you talk about a night. 5 strikeouts, 0 for 5, and at the very bottom of the strike zone. And the Taipei bench thinking that ball was down. Oh, has a reputation, he's earned it.
Inside to Yi-Xuan Lin, who doubled and scored in the 2nd, doubled in the 3rd. There is your winning run.
Gonna walk him.
Gao waits on deck, so they'd rather face him. Of course, one of the last times we'll see this, the actual 4-pitch intentional walk. We'll see it in the WBC, but not once the Major League Baseball season begins. And Joe, you wonder how this may throw off.
Yeah, a lot of guys don't like floating, in this case 3 wide ones, and then the game on the line having to come right back and be locating. Sometimes it can take you out of your delivery, but is such a pitch maker. I don't think this is going to bother him.
Guo-Hei Gao will bat. A single in the 1st, a double in the 7th, and he came around to score. Those are your runners. The runner at 2nd, Zhang, is the winning run. Lin behind him at 1st.
They walked to get to a guy who's had some pretty good ABs tonight. And O got away with one there. He yanked that one over the middle of the plate. Those are the ones you can't foul back. Wanting the ball in, yanked towards the middle of the plate. Hard to imagine him making another mistake like that.
3-time home run champ, waiting for an 0-1 from O. Big swing and a miss, 0-2. .39 home runs in 2015 to set the CPBL single season record. Right now might just want to hit the ball into the outfield. The 0-2 popped up behind home plate, and it'll reach the seats.
O is throwing about 92, 93 miles an hour. Save for that first pitch. He's been locating very well.
Again, it will be an 0-2. Swing and a miss, strike 3.
Hard slider, looks like it's right on the outside corner. Coaxes a swing out of Gao. It finishes off the plate. O is a pitch maker.
5 strikeouts in 2 innings pitched in this WBC. Young Ji Chen, the batter. He had a base hit in the 7th inning, and that is what tied this game. He can end it.
O just projects that fearless confidence that every good closer has. Volume up, lights are bright.
You want to go big picture on what O has done in his WBC career. The updated numbers on that: 8 2/3 innings and 15 strikeouts. A 1-1 to Chen.
Boy, that is a tight slider. Coming in at fastball tilt and taking a left turn. This guy's an assassin.
Winning run at second base for Chinese Taipei, once down 6-0 in this ball game. Tied in the 9th. The 1-2. In the air, right side. It'll stay in the park. Sun underneath it, and we have extra innings here in Seoul. Back here in Seoul as Seung-Hwan Oh came in. Did not start the 9th inning. But he came in after a leadoff double by Jang and worked his way through it, left that winning run on at second base. We head to the 10th, but something to keep in mind for the 11th inning is that runners will start on first and second. Whoever was scheduled to lead off will lead off. Preceding runners will be on base. Second time here in Seoul that we've had extra innings. Second time Korea has gone to extra innings. They lost 2-1 to Israel in the opener of the 2017 World Baseball Classic.
Well, you just get the feeling it's going to be a fitting ending to have that 11th inning format.
Three, 4, 5 due up for Korea as Sukmin Park takes inside. Hong-Wen Chen back out there. Came on to pitch in the 9th. Up and in again. Wide of the third base bag. Park had an RBI single in the first, was one of the 5 hit batsmen in this game. We've also had an ejection too, thanks to the hit by pitches. Both sides have been warned. 4th inning. Park a single and scored a run, and he struck out twice since then. Line foul. Eight here in the 10th. These two teams know they are not advancing to Tokyo, but their hope is that if they can get a win, they will avoid having to qualify for the next WBC. It's not set in stone, but the likelihood increases. If you get a win, you're in. In the air, right center field. Chases Lindback, still back at the track. 1 out.
Chen using the deepest part of the park. A great route by Lin. We've already talked about what an outstanding athlete that he is, Paul. Great route, had it all the way.
Again, this was Dae-Ho Lee's spot, the number 4 spot in the Korea lineup. He was lifted for a pinch hitter, Jae-Won-Oh, or a pinch runner rather, Jae-Won-Oh, earlier in the game. Now this is Oh's second at bat.
Never seen so many check swings.
Oh struck out in the 8th. Coming in to pinch run for Lee in the 6th. Grounded through for a base hit. He takes a wide turn around first, but will retreat. 1 on, 1 out in the 10th. #15th hit of the night for Korea. This is Asap Sun. 1 for 4. RBI single in that 5-run second inning, and also a sacrifice fly to left, but hooking foul. He'll run just shy of 250 in 10 KBO seasons. To some. 1-1.
I've seen Lin throw behind the plate. It's not like he has a howitzer, but Korea has been reluctant to run with their speed guys on first.
Well, for as much as O will run, he'll also get caught 10 times last year to go along with 13 stolen bases.
Chen, kind of a longer arm guy. He's pretty good caught stealing percentage, though.
Tap foul.
Wonder if he's going now with 2 strikes. Also in an effort to stay out of the double play. Really hasn't been getting, there's a little bit bigger lead.
Bluffs, tap, foul.
I think you've got to put some pressure on the defense. They might throw the ball into center field, make it over to third.
side. And takes a turn around second and into third. Well, he was on the move, and going to cover second base was the shortstop Chen. And that ball was hit right where Chen was. First and third, one out.
A lot of things happening there with 2 strikes. With 1 out, thinking about staying out of the double play, getting the defense out of position, wondering when they were going to put some pressure on the defense. And that was worth 2 bases. And about time.
Lots of speed on the corners. Son with 42 stolen bases, standing over at first. That's not a meaningless run. That's an insurance run right now. The one that really means something is at third in the person of Jae-Won Oh. Again, the pitching coach, Chin Chi Huang, goes out to talk with Chen.
Pitching coach went to the mound. It's not like it was really the pitcher's undoing. He really rolled up a double play ball. It was just the shortstop going to cover the bag was out of position.
At third, Son at first. Uiji Yang is at the plate. It was Yang who was up with the bases loaded in the second inning. His fly ball to left was caught. This is sent in the air toward right center field and hit well. Back and caught. But it's plenty deep enough to score the run. They are going to throw back to first, and fortunately back in time is Son. But O comes in to score on the loud sac fly to right center field, and Korea has taken a 9-8 lead.
Boy, a ball that was just toasted. Lin has already made an outstanding catch in this inning. He just turned tails and runs right to the wall, and a strong throw over to first base. The runner went all the way around past second base, and of course has to retouch second base. And I wonder if Lin is, I don't think they're going to try to appeal this at second. I saw him retouch second base.
This looks like they could be making a switch. Again, just for let's see if this is in fact a pinch hitter. It is, and it's Tae-Kyun Kim. And again, just to clarify, I think that's what it was so clear about. I mean, we're seeing the rosters, and in all honesty, a lot of the names are kind of similar, so it's, you have to be clear as to who it is. I know we've fouled up a couple here or there. We apologize for that, but that's why you want to take the extra time to make sure. Is Tae-Kyun Kim 0 for 4 against the Netherlands on Tuesday. Didn't start with flu-like symptoms. 0 for 7 with 4 strikeouts. .34 years old, 4th appearance in the WBC. He was 10 for 29 in the 2009 tournament.
Boy, that run for Korea seems huge with the silent assassin O ready to take the hill for Korea.
High fly ball and foul ground, and it will settle in. 1-1. Tae-Kyun Kim led all qualified hitters in the KBO with a .480 on base percentage in 2016. Also at 365, 23 home runs, 136 RBIs in 144 games. So a big bat in this lineup for sure. As he pinch hits here in the 10th. Israel and the Kingdom of the Netherlands have already advanced through Pool A here in Seoul. They're on their way to Tokyo for round 2 of the WBC. These two teams hoping to avoid having to get into a qualifier next time around. First base umpire Ted Barrett says he did go around, and it's 2-2. Got a piece of Lynn behind home plate. He's been
just a rolling breaking ball that Kim got a real nice hack at. These are the ones you want to hit hard. That was a cement mixer.
He was the Rookie of the Year in 2001, led the league with 31 home runs in 2008, won the batting title in 2012. Coming off the bench, again, those flu-like symptoms kept him out of the starting lineup today for In-Shik Kim's Korea squad. Driven to left center field, high and deep, and gone! What a way to snap an 0 for 7 in the WBC.
Well, mentioned that he got a hanger and he backed it up with another one, and this time he didn't miss it. Look at that extension. Barrel out in front of the plate. That brought the house down.
And it gives Korea a 3-run lead here in the 10th. Back here in Seoul in the top of the 10th, 3 runs on the board, 2 of them on this swing by Tae-Kyung Kim.
He threw back-to-back cement mixers, fouled off the first one. Got that one right out in front of the plate. And up and out of here.
Shin Sai deals to Jae-Ho Kim, a called strike.
A pitching change made after the fact.
Yeah. A couple of singles for Kim. We've seen Sai already in this WBC. Pitched against Israel. And now Kim lifts one to left. That one's back. Off the wall. And into second with a double. His 3rd hit of the night.
Here's a look at that cement mixer and the hanger that Kim jumps all over. And the manager, Kim, we spent an hour with him in the coaches' meetings and never saw that expression. Is that like, oh my goodness, where did that come from?
He is a stoic leader. in the dirt. No advance by Kim. But that had to feel good. I know that there's a lot of pressure, whether they want to admit it or not, on Korea hosting pool play for the first time. They've lost in the semifinals. They've lost in the finals. Exiting in the first round last time around. And again, a host country for the first time. Looking for their first win in this WBC. As they also know that they won't be advancing to Tokyo and getting to the second round for the second year in a row, or the second tournament in a row.
Yeah, we may not know for a while how big that home run actually was.
The 2-0 coming to Sao. 2-1. Just misses upstairs. 3-1. And Korea got out to a 6-0 lead in this one through an inning and a half. Taipei came back with a 3 spot in the bottom of the second inning. 2 in the top of the 4th for Korea, 2 in the bottom of the 4th for Taipei. Lofted to center, coming in fast and sliding to make the catch is Shea Swan Lin. What a grab. But the damage has been done in this inning. 3 runs for Korea, a 2-run homer by Kim. They lead it 11-8, going to the last of the 10th.
Well, Korea sitting pretty with a 3-run lead, but in the bottom of the 9th, after a leadoff double by Jang, they bring in the silent assassin, Suwon Oh, to start carving up these hitters and just making incredibly well located pitches that were slicing the corners.
Back out here for the 10th, he will face a pinch hitter, Chi Hung Shu, a 24-year-old who won the Rookie of the Year in the CPBL in 2015. New third baseman is Kyung Min Her as well. So a couple of changes here in the 10th. Shu is 0 for 2 so far in this tournament. Fouls that one straight back, 1-1. .319 average, 13 home runs and 56 RBIs en route to the Rookie of the Year award for Shu. That was in 2015. Followed that up in 2016 with some good numbers as well. He's got to deal with this guy, the closer of the Cardinals. A swing and a miss. That's out number 1 here in the 10th. The 3rd strikeout for O.
Well, every closer's got something special. O has that outstanding location and that tight breaking ball that just disappears. And I'm going to tell you, the favorite thing that I like about him is that expression, that look on his face, that look in his eye like, I got it covered. Sit back and relax. I got this.
Got a couple of nicknames. The Stone Buddha, the final boss. And when he comes in, it just feels like the opposition has less of a chance. Chopped right back to him. 2 away. And Chinese Taipei down to their last hope. These two teams know they are not moving on to Tokyo, but what they are hoping for is a victory in this game. They hope that that will lessen their chances of having to play in a qualifier the next time around for the WBC. Nothing set in stone just yet. You got to wait for all of the pool play to wrap up first, but usually teams that are winless have to qualify. Teams that pick up a victory don't. Shin Lung Hu, the DH. Hu had a 2 RBI single in the second inning. Drove in a run with a base hit in the 6th. To second base. Routine play. The host country, Korea, gets a win in the 2017 World Baseball Classic. And at least for a night, they defend their home turf. 11-8 the final in 10.
Didn't look like it was going to be much of a game with Korea jumping out to a 6-0 lead. Credit Chinese Taipei with coming back, tying the game up, had a chance to win it in the bottom of the 9th, and then Korea trotted out their big weapon in the silent assassin Oh, who pitched around the leadoff double and closed it down in the 10th.
An inning and a third, 1 hit, 3 strikeouts against Israel for O. Tonight, 2 innings and 3 strikeouts. His career in the WBC, 2 runs, 10 innings and 16 strikeouts. The final Pool A standings look like this. Israel goes 3-0 in the Kingdom of the Netherlands. Those two teams are going to Tokyo and round 2. That starts in Tokyo on Sunday from the Tokyo Dome. Who will they meet there out of Pool B? Time will tell. What a week it has been here in Seoul for Pool A. It's been our pleasure and our honor to bring you the games here from Seoul. Before we say goodbye, a special thanks to our entire crew, including our producer, Jeff Gowan, our director, Mitch Riggin, our researcher, Nate Purinton, who made us sound a heck of a lot smarter than we actually are, and the rest of our very hard-working crew, our local crew as well. For Joe McGray and I'm Paul Severino. A fun week in Seoul. Israel, the Kingdom of the Netherlands, on their way to Tokyo. Thanks for watching, everybody.